shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Wind continues as we go through our Wednesday afternoon, but temperatures should get above freezing, 35 for the high. More and more clouds take over tonight, breezy and 22. Thursday, clouds and flurries, 35. Thursday night, a cold front arrives, light snow, an inch or less accumulation, windy and cold down to 12. And Friday, partly sunny, windy and cold, the high 15. Wind chills Friday, minus 15. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Mark Reardon, and Annie Frey, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the next Protecting Your Retirement educational event. It's Tuesday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Seats are limited, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Do you worry about losing your nest egg with the volatility of the stock market? Would you like to know why linking to the market is smarter and safer than owning the market? Did you know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any losses and provide more income than most investment options? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can't afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg. Join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, January 30th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
I stopped smoking with Mark Patrick's hypnosis when nothing else worked. 1 year later, my wife Michelle and I attended the Mark Patrick Weight Loss Hypnosis Seminar. In 2 months, lost 43 pounds, and she lost 18 pounds.
And we feel great.
Seminars Tuesday, January 30th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights, and Wednesday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
Staples Print Big Sale means the more you print, the more you save. Get $20 off your print purchase of $100 or more, $50 off your print purchase of $200 or more, and $100 off your print purchase of $300 or more. Ends 2/10/24. See staples.com/print for details. Print more, save more at Staples.
It's 2024 and time to get your home zero-resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms Zero Res clean starting at $119. Also take $50 off the air duct cleaning package. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. You spell backward or forward, it spells the same.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the
ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
And so I will stick to the truth tonight. The first hard truth, and this one's hard for me. I got to admit this. But we've looked at it every which way, and I think it is true that we did not achieve the surprise that we wanted to deliver tonight. And I think that that's just a hard fact that we're going to have to accept as a campaign. And the question then is, what do we do that is right for our country? And so Purv and I, we actually didn't make this contingency plan before everybody told us to. We said, no, we're not doing that. But we talked about it tonight. We took a little bit of time in our apartment in Des Moines before coming here to make some hard choices. And I wanted to make a couple of announcements tonight to get the business out of the way. And then I want to tell you where we're going. As of this moment, we are going to suspend this presidential campaign. And this is going to have to be, there's no path for me to be the next president absent things that we don't want to see happen in this country.
So Vivek Ramaswamy a couple nights ago, after the Iowa caucus wrapped up, he suspended his campaign. And we heard how he reacted in that moment to throw his immediate support behind Donald Trump. Well, there's more to his support of Donald Trump. He is going to be an active campaigner for Donald Trump, and he has a message for the other
Donald Trump needs to be the nominee of this party. And I think Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley would actually at this point do this country and this party a service by stepping aside to make sure that we're focused on not only nominating Donald Trump, but getting this country back and reviving those founding revolutionary ideals.
So listening to Ramaswamy talk there, he's still doing his campaign. He's just not campaigning for himself. He has all of the files in the file folder. He knows what to say. He knows what people want to hear. But now the support goes behind Donald Trump.
Last night, I was honored to receive the endorsement of a man who has become a true leader and earned the admiration of so many patriots. I've been a friend of his, even though we were competing against each other. But I was a friend of his, and we got along. And he was saying he's a great president. I kept saying, why is he running? He keeps calling me a great president. But he's a fantastic guy, a very smart guy. He's got some tremendous ideas. And he's young, and he's got some young ideas, too, and that's a good thing. So he has a big, beautiful, bright future ahead. Vivek Ramaswamy. Come on up, Vivek.
So Vivek goes up on the stage. This is at a rally in New Hampshire, I believe. And did you see the video of Vivek on the stage?
Yeah, it was a love fest.
It was weird.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
I think that it was uncomfortable.
I agree.
I don't think it was a love. I think it was uncomfortable because I don't feel like Trump loved Vivek being on stage for that long as much as Vivek loved being on stage for that long.
Oh, I see.
Did you see that, Brad?
I did not see the video of it, but
I want to watch the video later in the show.
Did he speak for a long time? Because I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I felt like he spoke for long enough, but he just did his campaign speech. He has a list of, 10 points?
Something like that.
6 points? I don't know, 47 points. And he did his list.
Okay.
So it's not anything that was new, and it wasn't all about Donald Trump, which is where I think Donald Trump became uncomfortable.
And you know what? Trump's quote there is right, where he says something about, yeah, he keeps talking about how great of a president I was, so I'm not sure why he was running.
Then vote for me.
Yeah. Which is very true. That is the biggest question about why he was in the campaign the whole time, because it's clear that he wasn't going to win. It was clear that he was going to throw his support behind Donald Trump, maybe for a cabinet position. That's what it looks like.
Well, he was kind of almost a surrogate in the debates.
The debates.
When he would be in the debates, he was trumpeting Trump's message, and he was doing it in a very Trumpish way. So it was almost like he's like, I'll stand in for you so you don't have to do this. And now he's out, and immediately he endorsed Donald Trump and is part of his campaign.
Here's the question of the day on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. And it seems to be a very hotly contested question on the social media feeds right now. You can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and on today's live broadcast, come say hi and tell us what you think. Vivek for VP. Yes or no? I want to have this discussion right at the beginning of the show. I have no idea where you guys are at on this issue. I know where I am. Ryan?
I'm going to say no. Not
Why?
that I don't like him. I like Vivek Ramaswamy. I don't think he adds anything to the electability of Donald Trump, which to me is the point of the VP.
He's young. He does not look like Donald Trump.
That's correct.
Doesn't matter.
You're not going to outright Donald Trump or out-populist Donald Trump right now. That's what Vivek does. Now, you're right. He is younger. He adds some energy, and he's very, very good with the media, which is why I'd love to see him be some sort of part of the administration. But I don't think he adds anything to the swing states, to the voters that you need to reach out to win those states.
What do you think?
I'm going to disagree with Ryan there. I think Vivek has a great plan to reach young voters. So he goes onto college campuses and he interacts and he actually wins these people over. He gets protesters that yell at him. He wins them over.
He's effective.
He is very effective in that. But I'm a no.
Oh, ew.
So I like a lot about Vivek. But as VP, you're going to be like somebody on their chat said, you're one heartbeat away from being president. And my biggest concern with Vivek is his foreign policy. I think it's horrible. And I don't like the world's on fire now because Biden's reactionary. He's not proactive in his foreign policy. He's reactionary. And Vivek's foreign policy is going to be reactive by nature, and that's not good for us. He's very isolationist. Let's just bring everybody back and we'll stay home and not worry. We're not going to get involved. Now, don't hear me say I'm a hawk, but you do have to have a presence of power across the world, and I don't like Vivek's foreign policy.
I'm a big no. Vivek might be effective. He still annoys me. I can't. It's really simple, and I'm going to lean into how they continue to talk about suburban women and just be irrationally emotional about it. It just annoys me.
Oh, so not that would affect whether he's on the ticket, suburban women. Just you. Just that you are a representative of you.
I think that what Brad was saying about Vivek being effective in these one-on-one encounters or with the media when he's facing off, like you were saying, with the media, he's very good in those scenarios. I cannot get over the one contribution to this election cycle that Chris Christie has made, which is to call him ChatGPT.
But that's why he's great.
He'll be Chat VP.
I don't believe it. It's too good.
You don't think that you think Vivek is some sort of human robot hybrid? He's that good.
He's AI.
You think okay. Okay.
Somebody put on Twitter, can you imagine if he were the VP on the ticket with Trump and he had to debate Kamala Harris?
Oh my gosh, I know. I saw that last night too.
She would just start to shake it and poof,
it actually
she'd be gone.
Almost convinced me that I do want to see him be the VP. Because that
how
would be
important
amazing.
is the vice president anyway? For that moment alone.
Yeah, right.
Change my vote to yes. No, to me, he's the guy you want to help advising you. I feel like Vivek's priority on being in the spotlight and being the guy precludes him from being able to be the VP.
Okay.
And I think that there are some alphas. And Donald Trump is the alpha's alpha. And I think Vivek is too. It's not really a knock on him. That's why he's as successful as he is, because he's willing to do what needs to be done, to learn what he needs to learn, to push himself in the way that he needs to push himself in order to achieve great things. I don't have any good reasons other than he annoys me.
I'm going to throw this out there. Vivek Ramaswamy for Transportation Secretary.
Yeah.
I think he'd do a good job.
Could do worse.
I think that he would point out all the problems with the previous transportation secretary and fix all those things in light of all the problems that we've had.
But would the trains run on time?
I don't believe, and this is a habitual thing that talking heads like us can easily find ourselves in with a guy like Vivek. So he's not going to be the guy. Where in government can he fill in? No, get him out of government. Make him go be in the private sector so that it's effective and not infiltrated by the influence that government is always pushing upon. He can still advise without having to be in the cabinet. I think it's a waste of skills.
No, I think you got this all wrong. I think you want people who are successful in the private sector to go into government so that they can make government run more like the private sector. Make it run better.
Most of the time, my advice would be eliminate that part of government.
That may
She
be
makes
what
a great point.
That may
She
be
makes
what
a
he
great
does,
point.
though.
I
You got to
don't-
get the guy in there who goes, "I am unnecessary. This whole bureau is unnecessary. We're going to shut it down.
You don't
I'm going
need
to go
that
back
guy
to
to do
my
it.
job."
You don't need that guy to do it.
Yeah.
Just don't fill the position. And I mean, like the advisory nature of a Vivek Ramaswamy or anybody of that nature is still going to be accessible. I'm just thinking that if there's a scenario where Donald Trump becomes president or Nikki Haley becomes president, if there's a scenario where a Republican becomes president in November, and we're like, oh, let's fill out all of these positions in government with all of our favorite Republican conservatives, I think the conservative viewpoint is, what do we really need? And let's not stick people in positions just to fill them. I don't know. I just feel like we could pare it down a little bit.
I saw a commenter say this. And I don't know who it was. I don't remember now. But they said Vivek for press secretary. And that really is, so all these positions we might suggest for him, that's really the reason you're suggesting him, is because he seems to have his head on straight, but also that he's so good at talking to hostile media that maybe that's where you could go. I think you're right about him being too much of an alpha to have a position like that, but man, is he good at it. If you get somebody like him who is ChatGPT good at it, that would be awesome.
The anti-Corinne Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, it's complete opposite. Well, I don't know. Why don't you refer you to that department? Thanks, Corinne.
Another thing about Vivek that he has taken out of the Trump book is that he's not afraid to teeter on mean or insulting, but he's just so smart when he does it, which maybe Donald Trump is the same, but it doesn't translate that way. Trump might be as smart as anybody who's worked closely with him illustrates that he is a very, very, very intelligent man. And I don't think you get the success that Donald Trump has had without being very, very intelligent. Also that he's a very kind man, that in his own private or just day-to-day interactions that he's very kind, very generous. But when he gets out there and he gets in the ring, he's pulling zero punches. And Vivek is willing to throw those punches. I have not seen Ron DeSantis be able to land a punch in the effective way that Vivek and Donald Trump have been able to. Ron DeSantis' constant thing is scoreboard, which is really why I like him, because that's all I need. I'm not really in it for the sensational fight and spectacle of the process. I just want results. That's all I want. And Ron DeSantis has those results. Maybe that's not enough to get the nomination this time. It's definitely not going to be enough to get the nomination this time. When Nikki Haley does it, she is up against the idea of a female being a witch if she decides to go mean. Women cannot do it the way men can. That's a simple truth. And she already knows that. She doesn't need anyone to tell her that. But Vivek is very good at that element as well. I guess the question is what do we need out of a VP candidate on the ticket if it were to be Trump? And I think what I want to see is somebody who is as passionate, if not more passionate, to the conservative constitutional cause, not the populist cause, but the conservative constitutionalist cause, but that is also kind and fun. And that's why I think it should be Tim Scott. I shared it. I shared it last night on Twitter. There's a montage of somebody going into a neighborhood that's predominantly black and asking people who they're going to vote for. And they love Donald Trump. I mean, the montage that was put together, these people love Donald Trump, and it's very consistent. They all say, when Donald Trump was in office, I had money in my pocket. And everybody wanted to go a different direction. Everybody wanted to try something new. And now look what you've done. Like, that is a consistent message. And they think that, like, Donald Trump goes hard.
Yeah, that too. I mean, he's got the image, and that was before he was president. And I think I saw that same montage as you did.
I was going to send it to Brad to play, but it would have to be beeped so much.
There was a lot in it.
A lot.
But they were saying things, too, that I didn't necessarily agree with as a conservative. I was glad they were liking Trump. But they were saying things like, he gave people money and stuff. Well, there was COVID relief checks and stuff that went out. They were saying that. That's not necessarily, to me, the reason to vote for Trump. But the overall theme of it was, there's money in my pocket.
Yeah, it's not just relegated to the COVID part, I don't think, because the Democrats are giving people money as a principle. There was a way of life that existed when Donald Trump was the president. There was a way that you were able to grow what you have to accomplish more security for yourself because Donald Trump and his policies were in play. And it very quickly, under Joe Biden, went the other way. And people just realized that. And they spent so much on the left. They spent so much time trying to push Bidenomics. The name gets put out there by the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, or Washington Post or something. It's kind of put out there as a pejorative. They decide to snatch it and try to redefine what it is, and they never had success at it. They've never been able to pull off the idea that, no, Bidenomics is good for you. Because everyone's going, it ain't good for me. And you can't, hold my face in your hands and stare hard enough into my eyes with your head tilted to the side like a maniacal crazy person long enough to make me go, all right, you're right, Bidenomics is great. That's not the way it works. And people of all walks of life. This transcends any sort of demographical breakdown, divisive plan that the Democrats have. Everybody knows it. And I don't really know how they're gonna go about fixing it. Not in the amount of time that they have left before the election actually happens. 293 days until the election. It's gonna go by just like that.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll talk more about it and a few other news stories that are hitting right now when we return. But we need your vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Vivek for VP, yes or no? We've got a lot of people on both sides of this issue. America First commented, Vivek for press secretary. Sarah Huckabee Sanders for VP. That's an interesting one. Rambo said, give me Bird Brain Nikki for VP. That seems like a non-endorsement, Rambo. It's hard to tell which direction you're going. Ender said, I said yes, though I don't know if he would want to be. Though I do believe he should absolutely gain some position in the administration. And Russell said, I voted no. Vivek has the same message and views as Trump. He's a mini-me. Trump needs someone that can appeal to the undecided, independent, etc. voters. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So try hard, then try a little more. But hold up, if this were true, explain to me what the cross is for.
I want to talk to you about STS Armory and how easy it is to connect with them, to get your questions answered, to get the products that you're searching for found and purchased. Man, they're the best. STS Armory, you can call them directly with your questions and tell them Annie sent you. If you've got a question about some law that's in the state of Illinois that maybe you want to buy one thing, can I buy this? Can I buy that? How do I need to do this? You just reach out to them at 618-931-GUNS. 618-931-4867. That's 931-GUNS. They're located in Pontoon Beach, Illinois, on the corner of Highway 111 and South Drive. And they will walk you through whatever you need to know. From your very, very beginners, you've never held a firearm in your life, but for whatever particular reason, you think now is the time to learn, maybe to get that conceal and carry license and first acquire that FOID card. They help you with all of it. They also have classes to help you get qualified for that conceal and carry license or just to have basic training. They have firearm safety for teens and for children to make sure that they understand how to be safe around those firearms in your home. You can reach out to them at 618-931-GUNS or find them online at sts-armory.com.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. A winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Our goal at Neovitin is to make supporting your nutrition as easy as possible. That's why we created the Neovitin monthly subscription. Just go to neovitin.com, choose your multivitamin, sign up, and we will do the rest. You'll receive your Neovitin multivitamin every month with no long-term obligation. You can pause or cancel at any time, and shipping is free. Each Neovitin multivitamin includes our physician-formulated proprietary blend for nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Start supporting your nutrition the easy way with Neovitin multivitamins. Sign up for a Neovitin subscription today at neovitin.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Conservatives Care supports organizations making a difference in our community. Kim St. Ange here. USO Missouri serves active, reserve, and National Guard military members and their families throughout the St. Louis Metro and Kansas City. Learn how you can support their mission at 971talk.com/care.
You'll say we've got nothing in common, no common ground to start from, and we're falling apart. You'll say the world has come between us, our lives have come between us, still I know you just don't care. And I said, what about breakfast to Tiffany?
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
And I said, well, that's the one thing we got.
He wouldn't be talking about this if he didn't acknowledge that the economy is doing pretty damn well, and particularly
for people who, in fact, need the most help.
So if Joe Biden continues to just push this out there, that the economy is doing, in his words, pretty damn well, I'm here for it.
Same.
Just keep saying it out loud.
Begging you to
All
keep
7 times you find yourself in front of a microphone this year.
I love it because what it says to me is they have no other message. We can't spin this. We can't really do anything. So we're just going to say what we hope to be true.
Say it, say it, say it, say it, say it a little bit longer, and then maybe enough people will believe you.
Yes. And that is the way that Democrats and leftist media work, is they will take any message and just run with it regardless.
It's frustrating to know that there is an element of truth to them being able to get away with that because the media won't check them on it.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite things about people on the left who will, they'll say all Donald Trump does is lie. That everything he says is a lie, which is, of course, is in itself a lie. But I digress.
Never thought about that until you just
I know.
said that.
It's like you're sitting here like, they'll also call him a hypocrite. And I mean, I'm not here to say that Donald Trump has never said a lie. It's funny because they usually lump his exaggerations, his gross exaggerations.
Yeah.
And they're like, he lied about this and he lied about this and he said he had the best hair ever and everybody knows that's not true. And it's like, oh, you got me.
Yeah. He
He's
said
a liar.
COVID would be done by April.
Yeah. But they also call him a hypocrite. And one of the go-tos, the talking point go-tos, calling Donald Trump a hypocrite, is talking about how he used to criticize Barack Obama for how much he golfed. And I'm like, that's the thing?
Uh-huh.
That's the thing that's stuck in your it's the craw that you just can't get past. That's the thing, that he golfs too much. Okay.
You know, he hasn't said that as much in the last couple of years.
I know.
After being president.
He's changed quite a lot.
Yeah, boy, he's a new man.
He's a brand new man. I do think it's important. I had a little moment yesterday of kind of calling out the methodology of the criticisms that come to the right, because I'm just going to let you in a little secret here on how I will debate people or how I approach conversations that could go in a very hostile way, or maybe goes into what I will generally say, yeah, I don't think that there's going to be a conclusion here where we come to an agreement, but I like you. So let's be done with that and let's talk about something that we can agree on or that we can have fun disagreeing on. And what the MO is for the people who are super invested in upsetting the apple cart, making sure that in many cases, their goal is to ruin your day, not to change your mind. They will get a jolly off of the idea of ruining your day. That's enough for them. Mm-hmm. So you can't succumb to that. You can't give in to that. The idea is that they will not talk about the issue that you've presented. So if you formulate a question, if you ask a question about any particular issue that you're talking about, there's usually a yeah, but, or a whataboutism. The right does this too. This is not just something that happens on the left, but this is what happens in the kill each other culture that exists mostly through social media. But there's always a redirection of whatever the topic is that is at hand. And the redirection is always in an incredibly emotionally charged direction. They want to take your probably somewhat boring policy conversation that you wanted to have, that's rooted in facts, and they want to redirect it into a painful truth, which is where you listen to Joe Biden say truth over facts. When you say truth over facts, you have to understand these are the same people who say your truth and my truth, which means that there are multiple truths that exist at one time. And any rational thinking person knows that that's not accurate. There's reality and there's your perspective on it. And those perspectives on any given reality, which is real, which is true, the perspectives could be very different. I've talked about the ketchup bottle thing, where if Ryan and I are sitting at a diner and I hold up a ketchup bottle and I say, tell me what you see, he might say a ketchup bottle, and I say, oh, I see a ketchup bottle too. But he might also say, well, I see a label, and it says Heinz, and it's a pretty label. It's got, red and green writing on it, and it looks like it's from it's very old and it's very established. And I'm like, that's not true. On the back here, it says, or I could say on this ketchup bottle here, it says the calories are this and the fat and sugar content is this and it's made from this. And you're going to say, no, that's not what's on this ketchup bottle. So we're seeing the same ketchup bottle, but we see it from different angles. Neither one of us is inherently wrong. Neither one of us is in totality right. We would have to listen to each other's perspective on that ketchup bottle in order to understand the full picture. We would have to rely on the other person's perspective to understand the totality of what is true and real. So you do have to stop and listen to other people. But if instead of talking to each other about, well, let me tell you what I'm seeing with my own eyes and explaining what I see with my own eyes, if I tell Ryan that he's the dumbest person I've ever met because clearly right in front of me it says the nutrition facts, and if you can't see that the nutrition facts are on this ketchup bottle, I can't even talk to you. Do you lie about this to everybody else? Blah, blah, blah. And then I just attack him. And then he becomes defensive because I've been a rude witch to him, and then we get nowhere, and we've learned nothing from each other or about the issue at hand. It's important to understand that the powers that be and the powers that need to remain in the structure that exists right now in the media, which is different than social media. Social media is comprised mostly of real people who are arguing based on things that are being fed to them by an agreeable media on the left or maybe by an agreeable media on the right. It goes both ways. But what they have to do is set the mood. It's not about delivering facts. It's about delivering truths. And you might say, Annie, they're the same thing. They aren't in our culture today. That's why Rachel Maddow says something like this.
Regardless of whether or not they have any link to any church. It's, I am not a Catholic, I am not a Jew, and I am right-wing and willing to get rid of democracy. That's what evangelical means in real political terms
just
right now.
80%. Can you imagine saying that to somebody's face? Can you imagine Rachel Maddow coming and saying that to your face? She says that evangelical in political terms means that you're willing to get rid of democracy.
Catholic, I am not a Jew, and I am right-wing and willing to get rid of democracy.
Here's what I think of you. Here's what you must be. Here's what you're saying. I have completely now defined you. Go.
There is no part of what she articulates there that addresses any single policy that a conservative, maybe Christian, maybe evangelical, by, I would say, normal people terms, not the Rachel Maddow bigot terms. There's nothing about what she says there that has any concern for why you see your side of the ketchup bottle. None. In fact, she wants you to stop looking at the ketchup bottle. You better shut your mouth and not tell anybody that there is a second side to this ketchup bottle for other people to see, because if you're talking about it and people start listening, they might stop listening to what I see on my side. And if everybody listens to me to tell you what I see on my side, then I have the power. If people start listening to the other side, I'm going to lose my power. Notice that if you start listening to the other side, it doesn't make what she's saying false or untrue. Her perspective is still valid. But what people like Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, when they choose not to allow you to permit your pea-brain political mind to consume what Donald Trump might say in an acceptance speech after Iowa resoundingly says, "We choose you, Donald Trump." Rachel Maddow knows better than you. If you've put your trust in MSNBC's hand, and I understand who I'm talking to right now, on the whole, I understand that what we are having when we have a conversation here on 97.1 every day, that you guys are all saying, Annie, I don't ever watch MSNBC. You need to understand what's on the other side of the ketchup bottle. You need to know that on the other side of the ketchup bottle, they are willing to instigate hate. And an entire panel of people there who will sit idly by while she is sitting there saying that if you're evangelical...
Catholic, I am not a Jew, and I am right-wing and willing to get rid of democracy.
What the hell is that? That is so horrid. That is so inflammatory. And it's what they accuse the right of doing all the time. The entire predication of January 6th and what Donald Trump was saying in that big speech where he did say go protest peacefully, he also was emotionally charged in that. And I covered that live as it was happening, and I was not really a huge fan of that speech. She is saying that if you are evangelical, in her mind, in the left's mind, that you are in pursuit of getting rid of democracy. I do not understand the journalistic standards that she's able to hold and be on television as an anchor the way she is with that level of irresponsibility. It's disgusting. She should be ashamed of herself. MSNBC should be ashamed of herself. And everybody, a la Game of Thrones, should be pointing at her saying, shame, shame, shame. Because it is so incredibly shameful. She hates you. She despises you. And she speaks for the people who watch that and lap it up every single opportunity they can, because that's where they feel at home, because it's emotional, because that's where their truth is being told, even though their truth only exists on a throne of lies, a la Elf. You sit on a throne of lies. Rachel Maddow. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong.
No,
you can't even tell me you're wrong.
If somebody were to approach me with that mindset, which they have, not as much recently, but I would say when I was in college more, people were a little more fired up. They're willing to, take you on. And plus, I was a conservative, so I was an easy target at liberal university. I remember people having that same mindset coming up to you, saying something just totally egregious, putting words in your mouth.
I think they're justified in doing it.
Yeah, and because you're so wrong. I'm so right, and you're so wrong that I can do this to you.
They've prejudged who you are.
They have. It's prejudice. I would never even engage in those conversations. I would actually just say to the person, you know what? I don't dislike you. And it would change the conversation, because they don't look at you as a person once they've gotten to the Maddow point. They look at you as some sort of evil entity, a
pawn
that you have to be silenced. You are no longer a person. And when it's media, you can't have those conversations. But in real life, if somebody comes up to me, I'm not engaging in that. Just like you said last segment, they're just out to basically ruin your day or make a point. And that's not my point in having the conversation.
9 out of 10 times, I'm not letting them ruin my day.
Right.
1 out of 10, I'm trying to ruin theirs. I'm a sinful being. Anywho, let's take a quick break. We want to know what you think about the VP situation. Vivek for VP, yes or no? You can go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Come say hi, lively chat there. Michael commented, and he said Trump Gabbard 2024. TikTok. Oh, boy. I don't know, Michael. I like Republicans on that ticket. That's just me. Maybe not just me. Maybe some more of me's. Next up, Wiggins America. What are you talking about?
Wiggins America. I've got a viral clip of a woman who is assessing the situation of men and women right now. Some themes maybe you've heard, and some maybe you haven't.
I'll take your word for it, and we will be here with Wiggins America when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Remember the film, and as I recall, I think we both kind of liked it. And I said, well, that's the one thing we got.
The Bagel Loan and Stewie are waiting for your phone call. 314-324-4440. Stewie is, first of all, I'm just going to set all the mortgage stuff aside right now, which, I'm sorry, Stewie, I just have to do it. He's a really, really nice person. Like, he's a genuinely good person. And I say that because when you are going to make a really big decision about your mortgage and where you get it, of course you want the best deal. And I'm telling you, you're going to get the best deal at Stewart's American Mortgage. But I'm also telling you, you're going to really like working with Stewie. You're going to understand why I trust him, not with your mortgage, but with my mortgage. Twice I have done a bagel loan refinance with Stewie. No closing costs when you use the bagel loan with Stewart's American Mortgage. So when I tell you that you can trust him with your mortgage, I'm saying that because I have already trusted him with mine. It's legitimate. The closing costs don't exist. He doesn't roll them into the loan. They don't. You don't incur them later. They poof, not there. You do business directly with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, and he's just a phone call or a text away. 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan to find out more. NMLS number 226715.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
Tony LaRussa here. Has your loss of energy and weight gain thrown you a curveball in your relationship? If so, go see my friends over at Victory Men's Health. Discreet, first-class professionals will help you hit those curves out of the park. VictoryMen'sHealth.com. That's VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
We want to know a very simple question to answer this question. Vivek for VP, yes or no? Let us know what you think about Ramaswamy as vice president. We didn't say which president would have to pick him, but, we'd think it'd probably be Trump. Let us know what you think. It is the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll of the day. The time right now, 12:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Shows that make a difference in your day.
Your home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
There is a young woman who is going viral on the many forms of social media. I think it originated on TikTok.
On the TikTok.
The TikTok. Talking about her troubles in trying to date. Now, she looks like she's probably in her early 20s, if I had to guess. She's very attractive, but she has a lot of problems with the dating scene. And some of the things she's saying are
She
things
only finding betas?
You know what? You pretty much just summed it up.
All right, next.
So let's just go on to the next one. But she makes some assertions in here that I think are not only indicative of maybe society, but maybe men might help you in figuring out how to get dates. Women, maybe too. Let's figure out the roles here. I'm gonna play her first take on what's going on.
Someone needs to let me know if I am the only one that has noticed that men are not like how they were when our parents were growing up. Like, I grew up, I don't know if it's because, like, the Italian values or what. Like, I grew up, like, the man is supposed to take care of the woman. The man is supposed to go up to the girls. Like, the man is supposed to have drive and initiate everything.
Okay.
Yes.
First, agree or disagree?
100%. That's why I had to wait for Jared to ask me out on a first date. Don't talk.
Now, I've heard this story before.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying that, and I don't know if you were necessarily talking about specifically your situation or men and women in general.
Probably very much specifically my situation.
No, I don't think it was.
Okay.
I think it was much broader. That Jared did not necessarily notice you right away, but that the woman has to walk around the room about 10 times.
No, that's
something like that.
That's who's the elder millennial? She's Eliza
Dushku.
Schlesinger?
I don't know.
I don't know what you just said. Is that FCC compliant?
She's an actress.
Yes.
Eliza Schlesinger or whatever. She does stand-up. It's called Elder Millennial. If you were of my age, or pretty much all of our age, where you were a millennial somehow, but you've never felt like you are the type of person that millennials have been described by, hilarious. But she talks about how people would ask her husband, at the time it was her fiance, oh, how'd you guys meet? And he would say, she walked in the room and I saw her.
Yes, this is the story.
And then she goes in to explain how what women have to do is in the bar, you identify someone who you would like to be seen by and make like 7 laps with your girlfriends so that finally Joe Schmo will pay attention to you. And then I saw her. And it's so funny and true. If you've ever been on the side with your girlfriends before, not you guys, but if you know, girls know, that's totally accurate. You guys think you're doing a lot of work. You're not. You are way behind, wasting our time.
I agree. Because my next question was, how do you know when? Because as a guy, when I was dating, I definitely would pursue women, and I would have no clue whether they liked me or not. I would be like, I like that girl. So I would just start pursuing her and have no idea whether she was reciprocating or some other girl who definitely wanted me to pursue her who I was not.
I think that's typical of men. I think you might make the cluelessness a little bit to the extreme.
I'm not going to argue with that.
I'm just going to say, you are one of the kindest people I've ever met.
I agree.
And one of the least perceptive people I've ever met. Is that fair? People are going to tell me I'm mean to you, but I think both of those statements are, would you agree with those?
I am, in some ways, willfully unperceptive. I am fine with being in my own little world and existing within it, because it's kind of a fun little world.
But when you're trying to find out if she's into you,
it didn't work.
I don't know that the cues that are being sent to you would be received. And I'm telling you that this is so common that a very funny comedian has done an entire stand-up about how many times it takes a gentleman,
yes,
like you, to freaking notice her.
Yeah. If all men are that way,
yeah,
what you're saying is that I would be top of the class.
Yep.
Let's go to the next one.
Now, it's so hard to find guys that, like, even just in general, have drive in life.
Okay. I grabbed that because that applies not just to dating, but we're talking about what she's saying, and I don't know whether she is the end-all be-all here, but she's saying that there is an entire generation of guys right now who just don't have drive in life.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they? They've been told their whole lives that men are crap and boys are jerks and the problem for everything. I'd beat it myself, too, if I were them.
Every trait that came naturally to them, their drive, their ambition, all of that other stuff, they've been told is toxic. They've been told that you need to get out of the way and let women do their thing. And so guys are like, okay, you do that. It's the same thing. That's the same issue they were facing with the first question. Guys aren't pursuing women because that is viewed as toxic. You called men toxic for an entire generation, and now that they're like, I don't want to be toxic, you're complaining that they aren't what they used to be.
I don't even think that it's I don't want to be toxic. It's just I don't want to deal with all this crap.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Yeah.
I'll just do something else.
Well, the other thing, too, that should be pointed out, I think, is that the rules are changing so fast that you don't know what the rules are half the time. If I pursue somebody now, if I were to, I would not know whether I was being, like crossing social lines, because I don't even know what is acceptable because it changes per person and per day. I'm going to play the third one here.
I feel like then, like, whenever I, like, talk about it, everyone's like, oh, well, they want the girl to, like, go up to them. Like, what? When did this change?
Yeah, girl.
When did this change?
It didn't. Don't let it.
Because I want a man. I don't want to be the man. Someone come up to me.
I like this.
If you want a man and you don't want to be the man, stop acting like the man.
Well, she's not.
She may not be, but that is a big problem right now.
Yeah, but you can't put that on women or girls the same way you can't put on men what they put on men. There's a small group of squeaky wheels that are very, very annoyingly noisy.
They're annoyingly noisy, and people are buying into the nonsense that they're selling.
I don't think so. I think they're scared. The cancel culture is real. If you're a man, you don't want to be out there being, like you said, being accused of all of these things. It's like, I am who I am. This is who I am. But it seems to be a problem with a lot of people who are out there going to try to, tell me that I'm the worst thing ever just because I'm being a male. She's saying exactly what you want women to say. You can't put that on her.
I'm not putting it on her, but like I told Ryan about this. There's a video that went viral a few weeks ago that was about this. It was this lady who, she's like, I don't understand why nobody wants to wife me up. And she's like, I go to the gym, I work out, I'm strong, I'm tough, I'm all of these things. And then I see the guys that I'm attracted to. Yes.
Yeah, I know that.
I see these guys that are in, their wives are very feminine, very dainty. And she's realizing that everything that she's been told that men want, men don't actually want that.
Well, I think men want different things, but the idea of there being feminine characteristics and masculine characteristics, like, you've got to participate in the culture that you want. And if you're somebody who wants a more traditional lifestyle, she's talking about things aren't the way they were when our parents were here. She's talking about traditional culture. Invest in it. There are dudes out there waiting for you.
I will say that this girl probably represents way more people than she realizes by just throwing something out on TikTok, which is happening every day all the time. But this goes viral for a reason. It's because there are a lot of people who go, that right there, we need that.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Good for her. Let's get her on the show and get her a date.
Like, that's fine. Yeah, let's do that.
Stick around. We've got Deroy Murdock in the next hour and Illinois State Senator Terri Bryant on the Pritzker debacle with the immigration coming into the state of Illinois. All in the 1 o'clock hour. And you. We'll be right back.
You couldn't pick a worse time to sell your home. Sure, your home is worth a small fortune right now. But are you really going to swap your 2 or 3% current interest rate and pay 7 or 8% interest on a new house? No way. You don't have to with the Get Paid and Stay program from Truehold. You'll love this. It's a genius idea. With the Get Paid and Stay program, Truehold will buy your home now at its best current value. You bank the cash and stay in your home until interest rates come back down, or as long as you like. It's your call. Plus, you won't have to pay property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. Truehold pays those expenses. Learn about Truehold's Get Paid and Stay program. Call 855-300-9993. That's 855-300-9993. Or visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will pay for your home based on its best current value, not what's coming. Truehold.com, the smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. Call 855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
A warning in court. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A judge in New York just threatening to expel former President Trump from a civil defamation trial because of talking during testimony today loudly enough that the jury might be able to hear Trump's criticisms of writer E. Jean Carroll's claims against him. Trump was found liable last year for sexual abuse and defamation in order to pay Carroll $5 million. Now she's seeking millions more in damages, arguing Trump's denials have damaged her reputation. The former president's been shuttling back and forth to New Hampshire, where primary day is next Tuesday.
And the voters we've been talking to say that many of them are still undecided. But one thing they have noticed is things are heating up. They know that rhetoric is heating up ahead of the primary. And they also see that Nikki Haley is gaining steam and new endorsements. But the question again, is it enough to beat Donald Trump.
Fox's Alexis McAdams in Bedford. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who was second in the Iowa caucuses, is also holding events in New Hampshire, but is also said to be moving some campaign staff from New Hampshire to South Carolina. The Biden administration redesignating the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen as terrorists over attacks on ships in the Red Sea. But the new designation is less severe than the previous one removed in 2021. The U.S. Supreme Court hearing arguments in two appeals related to fishing that boil down to a precedent set 40 years ago when the court allowed federal agencies broad discretion in setting regulations.
Two cases today, two fishermen really dealing with the same issue here. They're opposed to a government agency's interpretation of a law that requires them to pay $700 a day for observers to collect data on overfishing. Conservatives argue that this is the type of interpretation that has just gone too far, since Congress never authorized this specific type of monitoring.
Fox's Rich Edson at the Supreme Court. A decision in both cases expected in June. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Wind continues as we go through our Wednesday afternoon, but temperatures should get above freezing. 35 for the high. More and more clouds take over tonight, breezy and 22. Thursday, clouds and flurries, 35. Thursday night, a cold front arrives. Light snow, an inch or less accumulation. Windy and cold down to 12. And Friday, partly sunny, windy and cold, the high 15. Wind chills Friday, minus 15. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because you're done playing by their rules. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Gain peace of mind that your flooring and carpet installation will be done right the first time when you hire the experts at Michael's Flooring Outlet. They give all their clients attentive personal service, even bring toys for the kids of the household. It's a family-owned and operated business for 25 plus years. They make sure you make the right choice for your home. So if you have carpets or hard floors, you're going to be happy for years to come. 3 convenient locations in St. Charles County, 116 Main Street, in Old Town St. Peters at Mid-Rivers and Highway 70, in West County on Olive, and the store in Darden Prairie. Michael's Flooring Outlet, igotfloor.com.
If you're facing $10,000, $20,000, or even $30,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt, there are programs available that can consolidate those debts into one single reduced payment you can afford if you qualify. Accredited Debt Relief is on a mission to help you become debt-free in just 24 to 48 months. They've helped over 300,000 qualified consumers. Hardworking Americans just like you pay off more than $3 billion in debt, earning them an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Accredited Debt Relief will tailor the program to fit your specific budget and financial situation. So call Accredited Debt Relief now for your free no-obligation savings estimate and let them help you take control of your financial destiny.
Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. That's 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. Program and services not available in all states.
It's 2024 and time to get your home zero-resified by calling our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Get 3 rooms zero-res clean starting at $119. Also take $50 off the air duct cleaning package. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I want to congratulate Ron and Nikki for having a good time together. We're all having a good time together. And I think they both actually did very well. I really do. I think they both did very well. We don't even know what the outcome of second place is. And I see Carrie Lake. Congratulations, Carrie. Very good. I spotted her, I have to announce, because she's terrific. She's going to be a senator, a great senator, I predict, right? You're going to be a great senator. And I also want to congratulate Vivek, because he did a hell of a job. He came from 0, and he's got a big percent, probably 8%, almost 8%, and that's an amazing job. They all did. They're all very smart people, very capable people.
Well, there is a little snippet from Donald Trump's, I guess, acceptance speech, whatever. I don't know if he's accepting first place. He's pretty much demanded it. He dominated in Iowa. It was a resounding victory. And what I've continued to hear people on both sides of the aisle on a whole bunch of different networks talk about President Trump's tone. And I think that it is starting to resonate with people that at least in Iowa, Donald Trump decided to go a different direction than he has before. There weren't any nicknames. He said some neutral to nice things about his opponents, and people are starting to take note. Wonder what this means to Deroy Murdock. He joins us now, nationally syndicated columnist, a Fox News contributor as well. Deroy, welcome back. I wonder what you think about the Iowa results.
Hey, it's great to talk to you. I watched the results on Monday night, and they were resounding. I mean, obviously 51% victory. He was 30 points ahead of Ron DeSantis, who clocked in about 21. I think Nikki Haley was around 19 and change. And this was the biggest primary, I should say Iowa caucus victory since, I believe, 1988, when Bob Dole won by margin about 13 Trump more than double that with his 30-point margin. And out of 99 counties in Iowa, he won 98 of them, and he lost one county to Nikki Haley by 1 vote. So if they have a recount, who knows? It may be 99 out of 99, but 98 out of 99 is pretty good. And he did very well with college-educated people. He did very well with women. He did very well across all the demographics. So I know people like Hillary Clinton like to say, "Oh, it's a Trump's cult and all that." Well, it's a pretty big cult that's winning huge majorities. And I like the tone that he's demonstrated. You might call it a kinder, gentler Donald J. Trump. And if he can maintain that and keep the focus on policy and avoid the name calling and that sort of thing, the contrast between that and what you hear out of the White House, that he's basically Adolf Hitler Jr. and he's soon to be a dictator, and going to have concentration camps in this country within a couple hours of the inauguration, et cetera. So I mean, this stuff is garbage completely. But if it contrasts with what we've seen over the last couple weeks or so, when Trump has been acting in a rather conciliatory fashion and staying focused on the issues, all that stuff is going to look even more nonsensical and absurd and ridiculous, and Biden will sink even further between the waves.
I'm glad you brought this up, because this is a regular conversation among the 100 or so people who are chatting with us on our YouTube live broadcast every day. Is this idea of Donald Trump as the dictator? That is something that has been discussed heavily in the mainstream media. They want to keep that idea alive, that Donald Trump is pursuant in ultimate and forever control once he were to potentially get back in the White House. You said it's ridiculous, but why do you think that they're pushing it so much from the left side, especially within the media coverage of it? Why is it so necessary to keep this idea alive if it is, in fact, so ridiculous?
Well, it's a lot easier to call Trump a dictator than to defend the Biden record. I mean, are they going to say we want four more years of inflation, 4 more years of the border being ripped open, 4 more years of communities not just in Texas and Arizona, but all the way up in Maine and Chicago, probably where you are, in St. Louis, having to accommodate these people who've broken into our country, and see your city and state budgets basically rated to take care of these people. 4 more years of international chaos in Europe with the Ukraine war, 4 more years of what you've seen in the Middle East. We've gone from peace in the Middle East under Trump to the Middle East on fire with the Red Sea full of Houthi rockets, with the the massacre in October 7th by Hamas against Israel, the ongoing war in Gaza, tremendous global instability. 4 more years of that kind of chaos. If I had to defend that record, I think I'd just scream Hitler. It's a lot easier, and it gets people hot and bothered and excited, and it's certainly much more simple than having to justify or defend that kind of record that Biden's had so far.
Yeah.
And you have his personal, his disappearance. Nobody's seen him. I mean, he's been invisible since Monday. They called it late at the White House yesterday at 10:06. I don't know if the groundhog has popped his head out of the hole today or not, but we don't see much of Joe Biden. So, it's a lot easier just to yell about Adolf Hitler than talk about Joe Biden.
I played a clip earlier from Rachel Maddow, and she, on the night of the Iowa caucus results, MSNBC was not handling the butt kicking that Donald Trump laid on that caucus there. I'm just going to read for you what Rachel Maddow said, and I transcribed this myself verbatim. Regardless of whether or not they have any link to any church, I'm not a Catholic, I'm not a Jew, and I am right-wing and willing to get rid of democracy. That's what evangelical means in real political terms. What do you say to Rachel Maddow?
That's very funny, because this morning I heard that quote and I transcribed it myself.
It's absurd. It's
I did the same exact thing you did.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I mean, I don't know anybody who's an evangelical who thinks, I just want to get rid of democracy, and that's what being evangelicalism means to me. It's just a stupid and bizarre comment. And I don't know anybody who's saying we want to cancel elections, we want to take people off the ballot, we want to lock up our opponents. And this is exactly what Biden and his allies are doing. They've got rid of the primary in Florida and North Carolina, so that Biden would not have to face Dean Phillips, the congressman from, I think it's Minnesota, who's running against him. There is no primary in New Hampshire today. I don't think Biden's on the ballot. I think they're arranging some effort to have a write-in, so he'll actually have some votes for him. So that doesn't sound like democracy. The effort to lock Trump up on the part of 4 different Democrat prosecutors, 91 different charges across 4 cases, and if he is convicted on all of them, he could go to jail for 712 years. And then you've got the Democrats and the FBI running around and censoring people. If you engage in quote-unquote misinformation, they'll contact Facebook and Google and so on and try to get you deplatformed or get your articles blocked. They're the same people who shut down the New York Post's Twitter page to make sure people didn't read the Hunter Biden's laptop from hell articles in the New York Post just before the 2020 election. So these are the people who are battling democracy, yet they scream and yell and say that we on the right are trying to shut down democracy. I don't see anybody on the right engaging in this kind of behavior. So it's the usual psychological projection, which is pretty much the jet fuel for the entire Democratic Party.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's so crazy to go to that dramatic of a length. And to think about any of the issues that are facing real Americans here in St. Louis in the Midwest, I'm seeing people that are questioning a lot of things that have to do with the electrical grid right now because it is really cold right here and people are losing power. And I've seen people on message boards saying, if you've got electric cars, don't charge cars right now because we can't handle the power grid here. People are talking about grocery bills. People are talking about things that matter to them on an everyday basis. And the counter to the possibility that Donald Trump might be an alternative that would make our lives better on a daily basis is he's Hitler. And if you're evangelical, you want to end the country as we know it. It's incredibly absurd.
It's absurd. And look, they could make a credible argument about, we need to spend less on this and more on that, or here's an idea to help poverty, or here's one way to get people's grocery bills down. If you want electric vehicles, here's the formula for getting more charging stations out there. I mean, I think a lot of this stuff is silly, but okay, if that's what you want to do, show us your plan for getting electric charging stations as well distributed in this country as gas stations, and then maybe this EV thing will make some sense. They don't do that. They just yell about the Third Reich and Germany in the 30s and all this other stuff from almost 90 years ago. It's just insane, and because they are not focused on ideas and proposals for the future and making these just outlandish comments, they've just turned themselves from a credible political party into something that on a good day is comical and on a bad day is terrifying.
Yeah. Deroy Murdock is with us right now. Last question before we let you go. Donald Trump put a thumping on the caucus. We have the idea that maybe Nikki Haley will compete pretty strongly in New Hampshire. Do you have any predictions for the way the rest of this is going to play out, or any advice on how these candidates should approach the rest of this primary process?
Briefly, what the sort of odd factor in New Hampshire is that unaffiliated voters can vote in the Republican primary, and you might have some people basically saying, "Look, there's no race on the Democrat side, so let me play on the Republican side," and they may get in there and vote for Nikki Haley because they dislike Trump, or they may do it just to create chaos and so on. So I very much believe in closed primaries. Republicans pick Republicans, Democrats pick Democrats. So you may have some wild cards in New Hampshire on that basis. Then we go into South Carolina, and Trump is way ahead, and Nikki Haley then faces the prospect of losing in her own state, and she may pull out of that just to pull out of the race entirely just to avoid that kind of embarrassment. My advice to all the candidates is talk about the issues, stay focused on actual policy proposals to make this country great again, whether it's the Trump MAGA agenda or the DeSantis or Haley agenda. And as far as Trump goes, focus on the issues, avoid the name calling, be positive, be funny, which he's able to do. And the more he's delightful and charming like that, the more silly all this Hitler talk sounds. And the more people who like his policies but don't like his tone will come back to the fray. And sorry, if this is going to be his tone, it's going to be something warmer and friendlier. They'll be able to bite down less on wooden spoons and actually support him come November.
Deroy Murdock, thank you for being with us. As always, we love your insight and your reflection. Look forward to talking to you again next week.
Okay, talk to you soon again,
Yep.
Annie. Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nationally syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, also a member of Project 21, Deroy Murdock. I think the phrase that I continue to hear that should be a reflection for Donald Trump has something to do with heaping burning coals.
This is true.
Cosign?
I will cosign that, yes.
Yeah, it's the Bible, so I will always cosign that. If you've never heard of heaping burning coals, just Google it. And that's kind of the direction this needs to head in. We're going to take a quick break. Illinois State Senator Terri Bryant, my friend from the 58th District in Illinois, has something to say about the governor. Have you heard J.B. Pritzker mouthing off about how, these darn red state governors sending us these immigrants, shame on them? Well, what about could Governor Abbott not just say the exact same thing about where the immigrants came from before he got them? You would think so. That would track. But that's not how we talk about things in the political world when we want to gain political points. Red state, blue state, got to keep people as mad at the other side as we can. Meanwhile, we got a real crisis in the state of Illinois, and the state senator says that we got something we need to do about it. Let's get to the bottom of it with Illinois State Senator Terri Bryant when we come back.
Supernatural woman, supernatural free. Don't know what you're doing. Got me feeling weak. Oh, I wanna call you fever, baby.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Are you looking for a home as rates have come down a little bit, a little more options out there on the market? Now is a good time to be hunting for that home. And if you're on the side of the river that I am, if you're on the Illinois side, you need a realtor that is top of the game. That's Jen Teske and her team. It's kind of hard to talk about Jen Teske without talking about the fact that she has an A1 team behind her helping you every step of the way. Jen Teske is a hustler. She understands exactly what the market is doing at any given time. She knows the value of things. She knows how to negotiate for you. She knows how to find what you need. And for people who are out there looking to buy right now, you want to be in touch with Jen Teske to make sure that you're going to get the best value on the home that you have been searching for. If you are looking to sell and you want to get the most out of your home, Jen Teske and her team at RE/MAX Alliance are the ones you want on your side. I'm going to give you the number that you can call or text to connect yourself with Jen Teske. You will be in the very best of hands with the Jen Teske RE/MAX Alliance team. Here's the number. Jot it down. Put it in your phone. Save it as Jen Teske, Teske, 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. One more time, 618-541-1010. Online at jenteskehomes.com.
I know we're all busy. We're working, we're running errands, trying to take care of the kids. It's really easy to put things off. One thing you do not want to put off, though, your annual eye exam. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates not only gave me the most thorough eye exam I've ever had, but they're also experts in the diagnosis and treatment of all diseases of the eye. Everything from dry eye to macular degeneration and cataracts. Think about this. Your eye health is the window into your overall body health. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranja Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and Samuel Berry, they can look at your eyes and even tell in some cases if you have early stage diabetes, heart disease, lung problems, even some forms of cancer. They're called the doctors' doctors because they've treated more than 250 doctors. The best part about this is that most insurance plans cover the cost of your annual eye exam. Set up your appointment today, 314-966-5000. Again, 314-966-5000, or go to youridoc.com.
Hi, I'm Tom Connors. Went to Mark Patrick's hypnosis seminar February 6, 2019. Nothing worked before. Left there and never smoked again. Amazing. Easy, affordable, and guaranteed. A year later, with my wife Michelle, attended Mark Patrick's weight loss seminar. She lost 18 pounds and I lost 43 in 8 weeks.
It's true. He smoked 2 packs a day and nothing worked until Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Now we're losing weight together, eating healthy, full on half the food, crazy, enjoying exercising. Who would have believed Mark Patrick Hypnosis really works?
It's amazing. I can breathe again. My blood pressure went down and I've got so much energy.
So much energy.
And look great.
Join Mark Patrick Seminars early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings. That's right. Seminars Tuesday, January 30th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights, and Wednesday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Terri Tires and Auto Centers. Because Terri Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
James Fishback, the founder and executive director of a group called Incubate Debate.
Is evil that the judge could not vote for someone who was white. I mean, this is clear-cut racial discrimination. It's un-American.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Not enough has been done. There's no doubt about that. And I think that the president needs to do more. The Congress needs to do more. Cities out here that are the target of this political game that Governor Abbott is playing are suffering. And here in Illinois, it's minus 29 degrees outside with the wind chill. We have migrants that arrive from Texas virtually every day, hundreds, and we don't have places to put them. We don't have enough shelter space here. There are plenty of other cities where, you know, if he's going to send people, they could be sent. But no, he's choosing only Democratic states, Democratic cities.
Well, it sounds like J.B. Pritzker has a problem with the migrant problem that our whole country has, but only in the political sense. How come the red state governor is sending him to the blue cities and the blue states? I don't know. Maybe there is a reason behind that. And I find it interesting that J.B. Pritzker calls what Governor Abbott is doing, in his words, a political game. Spare me. Reading from the centersquare.com, a report from a couple weeks ago, Illinois has been under some form of a gubernatorial disaster proclamation for most of the past 4 years, giving the Pritzker administration sweeping emergency powers to spend taxpayer dollars. Some are looking for a change. Since September 2022, J.B. Pritzker has issued 30-day disaster proclamations addressing the ongoing migrant crisis. His most recent proclamation expired Monday. Friday, he issued his 18th disaster proclamation. Well, let's get another perspective on this. We welcome to the show Illinois State Senator Terri Bryant, my friend. She's from the 58th District. You can find her online at bryantforillinois.com. Senator, thanks for being here with us today to get your perspective on what's going on here in the state of Illinois.
Thank you, Annie. You did a really good job in relaying that from Center Square, because it's been quite frustrating to be here in the Senate. I'm the assistant floor leader, so I tend to debate a lot of these controversial bills. What is now termed the Trust Act, which is a bill that really hinders law enforcement from talking to ICE so we can get rid of some of the folks who come in that are committing crimes is one issue. The other issue is just as you described. The governor continues to sign emergency orders, which lets him skirt the procurement laws so he can spend money pretty much the way he wants. In addition, he keeps sweeping money. The Democrats gave him in this budget year the ability to sweep up to 8% from agencies that he controls. Ordinarily, he can do 5. He can do 8 now. So he's swept $160 million, and he wants legislators to come back and backfill that.
Man, Illinois State Senator Terri Bryant with us right now. Tell us some of the things that Illinois residents, taxpayers, what their money is going to spend because of this influx of migrants coming to Illinois. What are we paying for?
Well, first, think about the fact that about 80% of those who are coming to the United States right now, according to J.B. Pritzker and according to some of the Democrats, are coming as asylum seekers. 80% of those who come as asylum seekers are going to be found to not actually be eligible for asylum, but we're turning them loose. So instead of having the Trump era remain in Mexico while we sorted all of that out, we have them coming here. So I just got a statistic this morning that said 1,900 Illinoisans or 1,900 people in Illinois last year died of fentanyl poisoning. 1,900. And that's 1 year. And we know that about 80% of all the fentanyl coming into the United States is coming across the southern border, right? So there's just one aspect. Yeah. Some of the money, you're asking about the money. Besides this $160 million that he's sweeping for so-called asylum seekers in the city of Chicago, which, by the way, said they wanted to be a sanctuary city, there's almost $2 billion going for immigrant health care and for welcome centers, which to your listeners includes one in Fairmont City. So you have a welcoming center, which is not like when you see somebody coming into the state, welcoming them into the state. It's a place where non-citizens can go to get things like laptops, help with groceries, help with rent, all things that citizens are not eligible for. And their applications at those welcome centers are only in Spanish. So when I went into one in Carbondale and asked if I could get one in English, they told me that they would have to have one faxed, not scanned, but faxed. And I asked for one. I said, what if I am here? There's a lot of Somali students at SIU.
Yeah.
What if I'm Somali and I speak some English, but I don't speak any Spanish? What do I do about an application for that? So this is such a broad topic, but I think really the essence of all of it is we're releasing people into our country who probably 80% of the time have no right to be here.
Wow. I just did a quick search here online. You said Fairmount City. That's 11 minutes from where I'm sitting right now.
Yes.
This is not a Chicago thing. This is not a broad state of Illinois. This is a right here in St. Louis thing. Yeah. And if you're on the Missouri side of the river, that river and those bridges aren't stopping individuals that are being brought to Fairmount City from coming over to this side of the state at all. So how do they get to Fairmount City? What is the process of these individuals finding this center, this welcome center in Fairmount City?
So generally, the welcoming centers that I'm aware of are, there's one in Carbondale, one in Fairmont City. I think there's one up by Western Illinois University. There's a couple over in Champaign. All the rest are in Chicago. So quite often, we have a lot of migrant farm workers. I used to represent Union County, which has all those great wineries and orchards. In the Metro East, you've got Eckert's over in Belleville and so forth. So you have a lot of migrant workers that are coming. Since you asked this question, here's my concern right now. If you live in an area where there's an Amtrak station or a Greyhound station, we do have people who are being brought to Chicago from Texas. But what is Chicago going to do with these individuals? I think they're going to start putting them on Amtrak. So I represent Mount Vernon, DuQuoin, a little piece of Centralia, and I go to church in Carbondale. Centralia, DuQuoin, and Carbondale have Amtrak stations. Mount Vernon is the crossroads of I-64 and I-57. If you send people on Amtrak to the Metro East, they're going to get off at those stations there. Now, I'm not aware that it's happening yet. I'm hearing rumors that it's starting to happen. But they got to go somewhere with these individuals, even if you take it straight out of J.B. Pritzker's mouth. Yeah. He thinks that there are other cities. Carbondale made themselves a welcoming city. So they're probably going to get some of these folks. So I think East St. Louis, I don't know if they declared themselves a welcoming city, but they're certainly close to that Amtrak line and to Greyhound. So I think folks need to quit thinking about the fact that this is only Chicago, because we told Chicago as legislators, we're not giving you any more money. Republicans did. They know that in the end, they hold all the cards, and they're going to get more money. J.B. Pritzker now wants the legislature to come back and backfill this $160 million that he stole from places like DCFS. So we're going to be addressing this. And then when legislators like me and almost all of the ones in Southern Illinois vote no on that supplemental budget, we're going to be accused of not loving kids, of not caring about breast cancer, of not caring about epilepsy, all of those things like DHS, all of those DCFS, all those places where he skimmed money, we're going to be expected to backfill. And I'm not planning to do it. He needs to find the money. He needs to take it out of those that undocumented health care that he's been funding to the tune of $2 billion.
Man, it's just it never ends with these Democrats in the state, and it is so. I don't need to preach to you about this. You live it every day, but the lack of any sort of power that the Republicans have because of the super minorities we're in, and J.B. Pritzker being, in my opinion, the leading progressive in a position of power in this country, because they get away with a lot of things in Illinois because it kind of flies under the radar. I'm begging you and your Republican colleagues to stand on principle and to scream this from the mountaintops, because I'm going to have you here to talk about it, but everybody else needs to understand the way that these operations are put into place. How much does it affect when I remember when sanctuary cities and sanctuary states came about? I believe Governor Rauner was the one who was a Republican who decided to kind of bring this onto the table for the state of Illinois. But J.B. Pritzker and the Democrats have stood very strongly by the idea of being welcoming and you know, the whole Statue of Liberty speech that we hear so often. And if you don't stand by that, then you are a racist bigot. And we hear this over and over and over again. Well, then they start coming. And now it's the Republican governor in Texas's fault. How much does the fact that we are a sanctuary state, and then, of course, Chicago being a sanctuary city, you mentioned Carbondale as well, that sanctuary status, are they getting what they asked for here?
Yeah, they are. And J.B. Pritzker will push back and say that the Trust Act is not a sanctuary state bill. But it is in essence, because law enforcement is not allowed to coordinate at all on any of these issues. So let's suppose that someone is arrested because it's evident that they are an illegal immigrant, okay? But if they weren't arrested for something else, they can't hold them only on that immigration issue. They can't even ask them that. That's what comes under the Trust Act. I just filed a bill.
That sounds like sanctuary to me. That sounds exactly like sanctuary.
It does. Well, Department of Corrections, which is my wheelhouse. I'm retired from the Department of Corrections. They used to be able to notify ICE that they had someone that was getting ready to parole. They can't. They're not even allowed to do that anymore. They're not allowed to tell ICE. J.B. Pritzker's answer is, well, yeah, they need to put a detainer on that person, but they don't know the Department of Corrections is holding that person. If the Department of Corrections cannot notify them that they have them and that they're about to release them. So I just filed a bill to repeal the Trust Act. I wish that I had known that actually there wasn't a bill. I assumed wrongly because, there's 10,000 bills filed in every legislative session, literally 10,000 plus. I thought there was one to repeal the Trust Act. I didn't have hope that it would get called, but I just realized that there isn't even one to repeal it. So I filed it about 2 weeks ago to repeal the Trust Act. It is a sanctuary state act. And we fought that with Governor Rauner. I don't care if the person's Democrat or Republican. What Governor Rauner did in that act was unconscionable, and he needs to be held responsible. But Governor Pritzker has now taken that and run with it and is spending our money on those who, not people who came here legally. My best friend's from Nicaragua. She waited 7 years in Mexico to come here on a third country visa because, and while she was there, in Mexico that you cannot earn money if you are not, you cannot work a job where you earn money if you're not a Mexican citizen.
Wow.
So in Mexico, while she and her husband are trying to survive after fleeing Nicaragua, they waited 7 years to come here, learned the language, became citizens. Their children and their grandchildren are all citizens here, started a small business. She's so anti-illegal immigration, she makes me look like a moderate in that issue. So those who are here legally, they don't like that benefits are being taken away from them. And one more thing, if I could, this issue with Medicaid for undocumented immigrants, you think about this for just a minute. If you are a legal citizen in Illinois, a citizen on Medicaid, you're on a program that's called managed care. You have to have pre-approval for your doctor, pre-approval for the hospital. You have a spend down, and pre-approval for your procedure. If you are a non-citizen, you're on fee for service, which means you can pick your doctor, hospital. You don't need pre-approval for your procedure, and you have no spend down. If you are ages right now 55, they've put a little bit. The governor put a little bit of rule in there where he capped it at 70,000 people. So 70,000 can take advantage of that if you are 42 and older. 42 and older, okay? They're already covered from 0 to, I think it's age 19 under all kids. So there's only a gap of 19 to 42. Everybody else is getting something better than citizens, including our homeless veterans, are not treated the same as non-citizens. So
Terri, before I let you go, and I want to remind people, we're speaking to Illinois State Senator Terri Bryant of the 58th District within the listening range here of 97.1 FM Talk. You need to talk to the people listening right now that are getting as fired up and angry as I am and as you are. They need to know something that they can do, somebody who they can talk to, that they can be a part of some sort of movement, because it's not going to come from Republicans like yourself in the Senate and in the General Assembly, because there's not enough of you, and that is on the voters in the state of Illinois to rectify that in November. What can they do right now to push back on this tyrannical governor and the supermajority of Democrats running out of Springfield?
So one thing they can do is call my office to tell me that they're with me on this issue, because I keep tallies of all of these issues. They can call the Democrats because this is their issue and tell them that they're not going to stand for it anymore. But Annie, we can make a difference even in a super minority. We had an issue with the Prison Review Board over the last few years where Governor Pritzker was appointing really far left individuals who actually released, you might remember one of the individuals from Madison County, Paula Sims, released her from prison. The three members of this Senate where we actually confirm them, the committee where we confirm those appointees, it was Senator McClure, Senator Plummer, and myself. We pushed back so hard that we actually got 3 of those members kicked off the board. And now we have a full board that is functioning in a much better way. So what do? We have to talk on shows like this and tell people that the governor has skimmed this money and he's giving it to a city who said they wanted to be a sanctuary city, who said that they would eat the cost of this. And now the rest of us who said we want no part of this are being expected to fund that. So give us the power as Republicans, give us that ability to say, I've had 1,000 people call my office and they're not going to put up with this. But more so, call those Democrat offices, flood their phones, because they think they're getting by with this and they shouldn't be allowed to get by with it. Flood the governor's phones and read off things like this, like 80% of asylees are going to get sent back, of those who are applying for asylum. Tell them that we're not going to put up with 1,900 people in Illinois dying from fentanyl poisoning. When you say that, we have to expose what's happening, talk about it at the coffee shops and so forth.
Yeah, well, we're happy to be able to have you on here, and we thank you for bringing this issue to our attention, because it's easy to put it off. There's a big dramatic election taking place on a national stage, but these are the issues that affect us in our neighborhoods. 11 minutes from where I sit right now, this welcoming center is bringing these people to here. And then what happens next, and who's keeping tabs on them? And are you safe in your own communities that you are funding and paying for? we have to ask these questions, and we have to ask them repeatedly. State Senator Terri Bryant, thank you so much for being with us today. It's good to talk to you.
Thanks for having me, Annie.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Thank you. It's my honor and pleasure to do so. I know you feel the same way. You can connect with Terri Bryant online at BryantForIllinois.com, BRYANT for Illinois.com. Let's get a little active, a little peacefully protesting aggressive and actually putting our anger and our frustration into action. And when you have state senators like Terri Bryant, she mentioned Jason Plummer, I've met a lot of them, Erica Harris, who's right across the river, she's my state senator. These are people who want to work and fight for you. We have great Republican representation where we have it, and we need to support them and broaden their reach in November. And this issue, man, it is maybe literally on your doorstep. Let's take a quick break. If you want to vote in today's YouTube live chat poll, we want to know, are you Vivek for VP? Yes or no? I can't wait to see the results of this. I love it when it's a yes or no question because it's just pretty decisive, clean cut, and you get to have your say. Let us know what you think about the possibility of a Vivek Ramaswamy vice presidency. Amy says Tucker Carlson for VP. Okay. Jackie says, yes, though, I would prefer Vivek as is added to Trump's cabinet. So maybe not on the VP part, but the cabinet. Ball says hi. Absolutely not. I think the VP pick can hurt you more than help. Basically, picking yourself for VP just helps the media push that he wants to be the president forever narrative. What do you think? Let us know on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I know my baby. She's gonna jump and shout.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan are one phone call away or a text message away. Here's the number. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Of course, I talk a lot about getting a mortgage for the new home you're going to buy, but I want to also explain to you how the Bagel Loan can help you with a refinance. Also, with a cash-out refinance potentially as well. When you are burdened with debt from other places, a lot of times right now we know we've been talking about record high credit card debt. If it's plaguing you, if it's keeping you up at night, get ahead of it. Talk to Stewie about it. And I've had conversations with him where he's worked with people who have had skyrocketing credit card debt. You're barely making the minimum payment. You're never going to get ahead of it. And it bothers you to the point where you can't sleep at night. When you reach out to Stewie, it's discreet. He's not going to tell anybody, obviously, about it, but he's also going to help you get a plan so that you can rest your head on your pillow at night knowing that you're doing what you need to do to get ahead of the game. Starts by calling him or texting him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to my friend Stewie and ask him how he can help you today. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
Ring in the new year with the ultimate timeless gift, a diamond from Diamonds Direct. Whether you're ready to pop the question or celebrating a lifetime of love in 2024, Diamonds Direct can make this New Year's one to remember forever. Diamonds Direct is the area's destination for exquisite diamonds in all shapes and sizes, and our nationwide price guarantee ensures you'll get the best value, period. To showcase that spectacular diamond, we have literally thousands of designer settings from all the top names like Tacori, Verragio, Simon G, A. Jaffe, and many more. And our experts will guide you every step of the way with the education you want and the respect you deserve. Engagement rings, wedding bands, eternity bands, fashion rings. At Diamonds Direct, we specialize in the ultimate symbol of love, and we welcome the opportunity to celebrate with you. So start the new year with some new excitement, new hope, and some new bling. Diamonds Direct at Olive and 270, official partner of the St. Louis Blues and proud to call the Gateway City home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
What I'm about to share is something we don't talk about often enough, so I'm just going to say it. We apply deodorant to our armpits every day. It's a part of the routine, right? So why do we put up with odors on other parts of our body between showers? It's time you discovered Lumi Whole Body Deodorant for pits, privates, and beyond. I tried it, and I noticed a difference right away, everywhere. Lumi was developed by an OBGYN. It's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, and that reassurance is worth every penny. Lumi has over 300,000 five-star reviews, and a 60-day money-back guarantee means you can try Lumi risk-free. Give Lumi Whole Body Deodorant a try and start controlling your body odor better everywhere.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code RISKFREE and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack and ships free with code RISKFREE. LUME deodorant.com, code RISKFREE, and get an extra $5 off a Lumi starter pack. That's LUME deodorant.com, code RISKFREE.
Your garage door is the largest piece of moving equipment in your home. When it needs help, call the experts at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Their certified technicians repair all brands of doors and openers, and you can even schedule evening and weekend service. Just call 314-781-5200 and always look for the red ribbon. It's your assurance you've got the genuine, the original Overhead Door, the most trusted garage door company in St. Louis since 1926. For same-day service, schedule online at overheaddoorstlouis.com. 314-781-5200.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. When you're injured and in your darkest hour, Onder Law is not only on your side, we're by your side.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
It's rare I can say this. This is a 3-word poll today. Vivek for VP? Question mark. Yes or no? Very, very simple, but there's a lot to it. Let us know whether you think Vivek Ramaswamy should be the next VP of the United States of America. The Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll is 151. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
It's where St. Louis and beyond comes to talk.
St. Louis is home for conservative talk.
This is 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Make you wanna holler, howdy ho.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Grape wine in a mason jar, homemade and brought to school by a friend of mine after class. Me and him and this other fool decide that we'll drink up what's left. Chug a lug, so help thyself. First time for everything. My ears still ring. Chug a lug, chug a lug.
I remember where I was the first time I heard this song. And it was, I think it was during COVID. We welcomed Pokemon Go back into our family, I think in 2020. And we would get in the car and just drive around and my husband and I would give our phones to the kids. And then they'd play Pokemon Go in the back of the car, and we would just drive around.
Yeah, we did a little of that.
And we were on Sirius, I think it's Willie's Roadhouse.
The station?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Chug-a-Lug came on, and I stared at my radio for maybe 60 seconds, waiting to see what happens next in this song. And something like that happens, and my husband knows all the words to these songs, and it's like you've been married to each other for over 10 years, and you're like, where were you storing this information? That I didn't know that you knew the words to a song called Chug-a-Lug.
Yeah.
Do you ever have those instances with your wife where it's like you get into something kind of weird and obscure and you're like, how do you know? Like, how do I not know that you know this? It's not how do you know this, but how did we get this far?
And I didn't find it out.
And where have you been hiding this? What else don't I know about you?
Yeah, the weirdest stuff, though, it wasn't song lyrics, but there was one recently that I think she said, when I was in Ireland or something. I'm like, what are you talking about when you were in Ireland? She's like, I lived there for like a summer. Like, I have no idea this even happened,
Is that real?
Yeah, I don't think it was a full summer, but she was there for at least a month.
She lived in Ireland. Were you married?
No.
Okay. No. Because that would be utterly shocking.
She was a jet setter before we got married, and now I'm wanting to take all these vacations, but we have kids, and we
now
can't
you
afford
go. Yeah, I understand how that goes.
Yep.
Do you ever find anything out about your wife? Do you know everything about her?
No, I don't know everything about her, but I haven't, nothing like that. I haven't found something out about her.
Oh, you lived in a different country for some time?
Yeah. Oh.
Wow.
No, there hasn't been any surprises with her.
My husband has a history degree. He has a communications degree as well. He's a social studies teacher, and he just knows so much about history. We're all nerds about things. I think, Ryan, it's not a stretch to say you're probably a Twilight Zone nerd.
Yeah, I think so.
Like if you got into conversation with somebody who was really into Twilight Zone, you guys could go for a while.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Twilight Zone, Pink Floyd, script writing.
Are those the same thing?
Those kinds of things. You know what's crazy?
Is there crossover there?
I saw one of those quizzes pop up that's, clickbait. That's going to take you through 25 pages. And it goes, if we give you a quote, can you tell us whether it's the name of a Pink Floyd song or a Twilight Zone episode? I'm like, I'm going. I'm in.
It's me.
This
it's
is
my
mine.
moment.
Did I make this? I don't even know. I have to click.
Did you take
Maybe I'm in the Twilight Zone. I definitely did.
How'd you do?
20 for 20.
Look, you can't see this because it's the radio, but this dude is proud of
Oh,
himself
man.
now. When did that happen?
This was probably a year ago. I still remember it, though.
You've lived to speak of it.
I mean, it was a moment that I really wanted to relive, and nobody cared until now.
My husband is just very, very well-versed in history. And it's like, I think that I've heard most of the things he's heard. I just don't retain them. He retains it all. So we'll be talking about something or maybe watching a movie, and he'll be like, oh, that's because in 1862, and then he'll just go in, and I'm looking at him like, are you making this up? And he's offended every time, as he should be. that I would assume that he's just.
Does he ever make it up?
No.
So
But he's so smart about it, like so specifically knowledgeable about it. This is the difference between a communication degree and real degrees. All I needed to do was get out of college and get an internship where I could work for free.
Yeah.
My husband went and got a communications degree. Then he went and got a history degree. Then he got a teaching certification and a bunch of other endorsements. And he actually learned things in school. I didn't. And he knows
that's a
it.
fact.
And then he dumps it out on me.
Communications degrees,
and
man.
I'm not really accusing him of lying. I'm just really offended at how dumb I apparently am. And it hurts.
I'll second that.
It hurt. Thank you. And let's go. Bye.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments for 2 months? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 314-567-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 314-567-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
I can see clearly now thanks to the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and introducing Samuel Berry. You can too. Call 314-966-5000 or check out youridoc.com. That's youridoc.com.
Mark Cox here for Hampton Manor of Wentzville. It's a new senior living community with outstanding amenities, a personal chef, and a great location just off I-70 at Lake St. Louis. Schedule your visit today. Go online to wentzvilleassistedliving.com.
Air Comfort Service. You find them online at aircomfortservice.com. I'm looking at the temperature right now. It's all the way up to 36 degrees, and there's a full sun, and it says sunny. So you made it this far. Did your furnace show a little sign of wear over the last week or so? Get on the phone and call Air Comfort Service right away, 314-513-0091, and schedule an appointment for the maintenance or tune-up that you have been putting off. Also, change your air filters. That's a basic one, and I'm supposed to remind you of that. I also want you to know that if your furnace is in good working order and you feel drafty, cold in your house when it gets super cold like it has been, you might have an insulation problem. And 9 out of 10 homes, they're under-insulated. Yours probably is too. If your furnace is in good working order, it's pumping all of that warm air into your home and right out the ceiling in the roof where the insulation is not great. Reach out to them at 314-513-0091 and get to the bottom of the problem. You can get the insulation assessed. You can also learn all about it online at aircomfortservice.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Terri Tires and Auto Centers. Because Terri Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The search for a deal goes to the White House. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Top congressional leaders set to meet at this hour with President Biden, who wants lawmakers to pass more than $100 billion, including aid for Israel and Ukraine.
This will be an opportunity for the president and for the national security team to make sure that members of Congress fully understand the desperate, urgent need for weapons and capabilities for Ukraine to continue to flow.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby. Some Democrats want conditions on aid to Israel. Republicans want changes in border policy as part of any deal. This as Congress also faces a Friday deadline to avoid a government shutdown.
Conservatives are barking at House Speaker Mike Johnson. They demanded he backpedal from the spending deal he cut with Democrats. They're upset that Congress will pass yet another temporary spending bill. Johnson once said he would not do that.
Fox's Chad Pergram on Capitol Hill. House Republicans say the Homeland Security chief has allowed the southern border situation to become a crisis. The committee chair leading impeachment hearings of Secretary Mayorkas is asking for written testimony and accusing him of refusing to follow the law.
The Department of Homeland Security firing back, claiming they've told Chairman Mark Green the secretary is willing to testify, but the committee hasn't responded to work on finding a mutually agreeable date. And Democrats like House Caucus Chair Pete Aguilar say Republicans aren't focused on solutions.
They believe in censures, impeachments. That's what brings them together.
The second impeachment hearing is scheduled for tomorrow.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz on the Hill. An election official's decision to remove former President Trump from the ballot in Maine has just been put on hold by a judge, allowing time for the U.S. Supreme Court to rule on a similar case in Colorado. Multiple states are seeking to disqualify Trump over an insurrection-related clause in the Constitution. America is listening to Fox News.
Connect to Fox.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also let you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The wind continues as we go through our Wednesday afternoon, but temperatures should get above freezing, 35 for the high. More and more clouds take over tonight, breezy and 22. Thursday, clouds and flurries, 35. Thursday night, a cold front arrives, light snow, an inch or less accumulation, windy and cold down to 12. And Friday, partly sunny, windy and cold, the high 15. Wind chills Friday, minus 15. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
When you're trying to find and interviewing can become a job itself, you need Indeed, the all-in-one platform that makes it easy to interview, screen, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because no two people sleep the same. Only the Sleep Number smart bed lets you each choose your individual firmness and comfort, your Sleep Number setting. The Climate 360 smart bed is so smart it actively cools or warms up to 13 degrees on either side for your ideal sleep temperature. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition smart bed for a limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
You're here to connect and to know. We're here to deliver the world, the country, and the community.
Your home for conservative talk.
The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back. Got a few options. Want to go over the options?
Yeah, why don't you let us know what we're going to talk about
What
here.
are those books called? Like Choose Your
Own Adventure.
Choose Your Own Adventure?
Yeah, we still got some of those hanging around the house.
Choose Your Own Radio Show.
This is your Choose Your Own Adventure 2 o'clock hour on the Annie Frey Show.
Okay. I want the happy ending.
Fat doctors giving advice on weight loss. That's one.
Ooh. Okay.
Aliens.
I like that too.
Goonies.
Oh, man. I think we just run the buffet here.
A little of
I
this,
like
a
all
little
of
of
those.
that.
He's like the buffet, so he wants to start with the doctor.
Yeah, I do. Is the title of the article Fat Doctors Give Weight Loss Advice?
It will be on our podcast.
Okay.
Which, by the way, you can subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcast anywhere you get podcasts from. A little bit of business, though, because this is a serious production.
Clearly.
Because Leah's back.
Right.
We should get her in here.
This was a 3/4 of the way show up until she came back.
Yeah, and you could tell.
Yeah.
Ethan, man.
I know.
Ethan's out there probably going, hey. Ethan's great. Judge threatens to bar Trump from courtroom over interjections during the E. Jean Carroll trial, which is going on today. And listen, folks, if I cover every minute of every trial that Donald Trump is going to be in 2024, there's nothing else. Go watch Courtroom TV or whatever. From Fox News, a judge threatened to bar former President Trump from his civil trial in New York City on Wednesday over his loud reactions to E. Jean Carroll's testimony, claiming he ruined her reputation after she accused him of sexual abuse. Judge Lewis Kaplan admonished Trump for his audible reactions to Carroll's testimony in front of the jury, threatening that the former president could be barred from the trial if he continues. Trump was heard saying, quote, "That's not true." Quote, "It's a witch hunt." And, quote, "It really is a con job."
It's the greatest hits.
During Carroll's testimony. After the jury was excused for lunch, Kaplan told Trump that his right to be present during the trial could be forfeited if he is disruptive. Pay attention in class, Mr. Trump. Quote, Mr. Trump, I hope I don't have to consider excluding you from the trial, Kaplan said, in an exchange that the jury was excused for lunch, adding, quote, I understand you're probably eager for me to do that. Trump responded from the defense table, quote, I would love it.
I was getting ready to say he's probably trying to get kicked out. I didn't know that that's where the article went.
Kaplan said, quote, I know you would like it. You just can't control yourself in this circumstance, apparently. Trump muttered before walking out, quote, you can't either. And then he went, I had to
say that sounds
I'm
like
only assuming I wasn't there.
A man who has had enough. He's like, I'm done with this nonsense.
I was the president of you.
Anyway.
I can't figure out. I mean, we can move on, but I can't figure out that case. She was on CNN with Anderson Cooper talking about how this was not a sexual assault. I mean, her words. She said it a couple times, and then she goes into court and keeps going, well, this was a sexual assault. I mean, I don't know what is she trying to do other than just get money?
What else is there?
Clearly she's trying to get some money.
There will be details that are released, but those were particularly of interest
I like
to me.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Fat doctors, aliens, or Goonies?
Fat doctors.
Fat doctors?
Yeah, for 100.
Good, because this is the one where I don't do this segment. Brad does this segment. Because he told me like we were going to have to hold him down.
I am frustrated by this clip.
Okay.
On TikTok.
Doctors should never be prescribing weight loss.
So that's how she starts it off.
What did she say?
Doctors should never be prescribing weight loss.
I didn't know you could prescribe weight loss.
Well, yeah. You say, hey, you need to drop and give me 30.
Okay.
But she sounds, is this British?
Yes, she's from the UK.
So she's smarter than us.
No, she's not.
She's more refined.
To anyone, ever, at any point in time. And here's why. When we recommend any procedure, treatment, medication, or whatever, we need to be thinking about the pros and the cons, the benefits and the risks.
Yeah, I think that's obvious.
So what are the benefits of intentional weight loss? Well, the main one is you become thinner.
Is that?
Temporarily.
Before we get too deep into this, now I'm going to go to Brad because Brad owns this.
Been there, done that.
You've lost weight.
Yes.
How much weight have you lost?
100 pounds.
You want to tell us what you were at your heaviest that you know of?
Yep, 330.
What
pounds.
happened when you were 330 pounds?
I don't know what that is in stone. I had a heart attack.
Like a legitimate
in
your 20s.
Yeah, full blockage, myocardial infarction.
Do you think your weight contributed to that?
Absolutely. I mean, so where this blockage was in my heart, there's a bit of a weird growth. My artery grows weird there. And what ends up happening is the cholesterol gets stuck in a spot and it blocks the blood flow to your heart. That's what a heart attack is. This, because of my diet, my high cholesterol, like only nachos, pizza, and chicken wings diet.
It's the Ryan Wiggins diet.
It is.
With
and I don't know
sugar
how
on
this
top.
dude gets away with it. But anyway, because of my diet, I had more cholesterol than I should have had at my age. I had poor cardiovascular health because I wasn't walking, because I just got tired and didn't like my legs rubbing together, and it was uncomfortable, and I had to do work and all this other stuff. It was all of that. That all added up, and so I had poor cardiovascular health. I had all of this. And so whenever that blockage happened, it gave me a heart attack. And had I been in better shape, because after I had the heart attack, I lost the weight, and that blockage opened up. They didn't put a stent in because they couldn't get a stent in, but that blockage opened up, and that's why I think that having lost or not been overweight and not having a poor diet and not doing all of these things would have prevented me from ever having a heart attack.
Well, this doctor on TikTok says that the primary consequence or benefit of losing weight is that you get thinner.
No.
That wasn't really...
I didn't know that before this. I didn't go to medical school.
Told you she was smarter than me.
Yeah, I'm not a biologist.
Yeah. I'm assuming from your story, Brad, that your reason for losing weight wasn't, in fact, just so you could look a certain way.
No, it had nothing to do with that. And then, as a matter of fact, if that is your motivation for losing weight, you're going to fail every time because it's such a shallow motivation. But for me, it was don't die.
Intentional weight loss. Well, the main one is you become thinner. temporarily, mind you, because up to 98% of people will regain all of the weight that they lost within 5 years. Up to 2/3 of them actually will gain back more than they lost in the first place. There are some possible temporary health benefits, but none of them are long-lasting. For example, you may be able to get your diabetes into remission for 12 months, 18 months, but no longer than that for the vast majority of people.
Yes, sir.
My aunt has...
He lifted his hand in the air.
Yeah, I need you to stop right now.
It's like, call on you, Brad. Go.
My aunt has controlled her diabetes with weight loss and a healthy diet for years. That's not temporary. The reason it comes back, the reason you regain weight is because you go back into your old habits. What you need to do whenever you're losing weight is change your lifestyle. It's not a change your, you don't go on a diet. When you stop the diet, you're back to where you were. You need to change habits and you need to change your lifestyle. So it's a discipline thing. It's not because your doctor told you to lose weight. You rebound because you don't stick with it.
In fact, most of the data out there focuses A, on the short-term benefits, and B, more on health risks rather than health outcomes. And by that, I mean they'll focus on your blood pressure or your A1C or your cholesterol rather than focusing on, say, heart attacks or strokes or cancer.
I need you to stop that there, too. My doctors always told me you need to get these things under control because it will cause a heart attack. They never said they never didn't focus on that. They told you this is the risk. Right now you have hypertension. If you have hypertension, that could lead to blood pressure issues, that could lead to heart issues. If you have high cholesterol, that could lead to heart issues. It's the blood pressure thing and these other smaller things that she talks about that are just, well, I don't know, she kind of blows them off.
Yeah, they're like just casual fine print details.
They're like
diabetes, A1C, and your cholesterol.
They're like warning lights on your Boeing 737 and ignoring them. And the next thing you know, the door panel blows out.
The doors are flying off.
I think that what's interesting to me is that she says that all these things, they're just temporary. Nobody loses weight long term. Somebody like me, I lost weight just because it was cosmetic. That's why I look the way that I do now, because I looked at Kourtney Kardashian and Kylie Jenner and I said, cute, me too. But you kept it off. You clearly are bucking the trend.
11 years.
Of what she's like. If only there was somebody we could talk to who it wasn't temporary for.
Yeah.
Oh, hello,
11
Brad.
years.
That's amazing.
But what about the risks?
The risks of weight loss.
There are lots of them. First of all, there are the physical risks. People who diet suffer from malabsorption, poor energy levels, and when taken to extreme levels, they can become dehydrated. They can even cause damage to their heart, their kidneys, and various other...
I'm waiting for her to say, like, when you're out running and exercising, you could trip and fall. You could stub your toe.
I like how she says data with an R. Dater.
Yeah, exactly.
internal organ. Then there's the psychological damage, the low mood, low self-worth, increased rates of anxiety.
All the low self-worth that comes from dropping 30
I'm going
pounds.
to this diet, doctor.
I know.
From now on.
Ryan, this wasn't a suggestion. You're taking this completely the wrong way.
Does she take
depression,
telehealth?
and even suicidality. Poor cognition, inability to concentrate, poorer memory, inability to do basic, simple tasks that were once quite easy for you. And
like eating, how do you describe how you used to eat?
Like a 5-year-old.
that's just in the short term. What about the risk of eating disorders? The more you diet and the more extreme your dieting techniques, the higher the risk of you developing an eating disorder, which is particularly bad if you're a person with a bigger body, because that's also far less likely to get diagnosed and far less likely to get treated properly. Then there's weight cycling or weight fluctuations, which have been shown over and over again to be detrimental to people in the long term. Then there's weight stigma, which has been shown to be particularly detrimental to our health.
Isn't it all about weight stigma?
It is. It's interesting. Like, you talked about this yesterday. She's doing what you were saying liberals do yesterday. She's describing the most extreme examples. So, like, if your doctor says, hey, you need to change your diet, and then your diet's leaving you malnourished, that's not the right diet. And she's pointing to an extreme circumstance there. And she's like, it could do this. And then you won't even be able to think straight because you're not eating enough food. You are fat because you are overeating, not because you're eating properly. eating properly is eating the right amount of calories that your body needs to maintain. To diet, you back it off just a little bit, and then it starts coming down, and then all that. If you are starving yourself, you're doing it wrong, and you're not going to stick with it. It's like I said before, it's about changing your habits. It makes me so mad because what she's advocating for literally will cost people their lives. There's a video circulating right now with Blair White where she has these different fat positive influencers, and it's like, hey, welcome to my fat positive podcast, and blah, 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 and it just stops, and it's Blair White, and she goes, she died. And then it's another person who's like, I got the world's biggest Fruit Loop, and he starts to eat it, stops, he died. There was another one with a radio show, stops, she died. You're not healthy at any weight, and it's absolutely malpractice for a doctor, I don't care where you're at, to come out and say it's not right to tell people they need to lose weight. There are times when people need to lose weight because it is bad for your health.
I'm going to sue you for fat shaming me.
I'll fat shame the heck out of you.
I'm gonna add this. We'll just go a little bit longer here. I'm gonna add this to the end of this conversation because there is an actress. How do you say her name? Niecy Nash Betts.
I've never heard of this person in my life.
Neither have I, but she was in my algorithm.
Okay.
She won an Emmy. Is that what just happened?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We got a lot of information for a news show.
It's pronounced Amy.
Just me, asking questions. But she gave a speech after she won the award, and she thanked herself.
Oh.
And she talked about herself, and she was asked afterwards, do they have the post-game presser thing where they can go talk to them? This is what she said.
Well, because, I'm the only one who knows what it cost me. I'm the only one who knows how many nights I cried because I couldn't be seen for a certain type of role. I'm the one who knows what it's like to go through divorce on camera and still have to pull up and show out, and you still got to go home and you have children and a whole life. And so I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I did something that people said I could not do because I believed in me. And sometimes people don't believe in themselves. And I hope my speech was a delicious invitation for people to do just that. Believe in yourself and congratulate yourself. Sometimes you got to encourage what? Yourself. And that's why it's not called mama esteem, them esteem, us esteem. It's called self-esteem because don't nobody got to believe it but you.
I don't feel like our current culture is really short on self-esteem.
You know what I would like to do? Get up and say the same thing everybody else in the world is saying and act like I'm brave. Nothing she's saying is horrible.
No.
It's the same thing. And clearly we're at a lack of it. And so if the message isn't getting through, maybe there's something other than that that's the problem.
If we've all achieved peak self,
yeah,
and it's all we need, civilization is done.
We've accomplished the greatest thing possible. We're there. I took a picture in Walmart the other day of a magazine cover, Us magazine. I almost sent it to you guys. Kylie Richards, quote, "I put myself first." This stuff is everywhere.
I almost
That
said
is
a bad
the
word.
that is the message of the world right now.
Sugar.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't raise new generations in a culture where there is nothing wrong with them. They should be celebrated for every single aspect of them. And that there's not any point in your life where you will be told by another person, you need to refine that. You need to improve that. And you should be able to say to them, don't you know who I am? Don't you know that I am 100% authentically myself?
Wow. You are God.
That's what it's all about. And it's unhealthy. And it is not going to create a community, a culture, a society where we collectively get better. We will collectively deteriorate under this type of an attitude. I'm not against her being proud of herself. I'm not against her saying, I defeated the odds. Everybody was against me. But I guarantee you there's someone along the line there that helped her get where she was. And the idea that you would present in that moment to the world, the idea that you are all you need is not true. And when people find themselves needing compassion, needing affection, needing forgiveness, all of which come from somebody else, and they're raised in a world where they're told you don't need anybody, that is an incredibly lonely place to be. It is a place of despair. And we can't afford to continue to celebrate this godlike worship of ourselves because it has a most certain end. That might be the thing that goes viral from this show because everybody loves that speech. And I just saw it, and I'm not mad at her for it, but it really actually made me effectively sad to hear it.
Yeah, it does. Because you know where it ends. You know that it doesn't actually end in the fulfillment that you're trying to hype yourself into. Goonies next?
I was going to say, Goonies or Aliens?
Oh, let's do both.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see if we can fit it in. Let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Vivek for VP, yes or no? The Annie Frey YouTube channel. Come vote and tell us what you think. Join the conversation. Dirk said, chose no. I just don't get a good feeling from him. Just seems sneaky. Carlo said, I voted yes. I think Vivek can resonate with younger voters, and I think he would mesh well with DJT. Wavy said, I've been a hard no on Vivek since day one. I see him as an opportunist, not serious. Now that Trump has publicly denounced him, I don't think he stands a chance. Let us know what you think in the comments and make sure you vote on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Aliens and Goonies when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Working on the chain gang.
The Retirement Advisory Group wants to remind you we've got an upcoming event. I'm going to be there. Are you? I hope so. I'd like to meet you. I'd like to shake your hand and get to know you a little bit. I'm going to be there starting at 6 o'clock, and at 6:30 is when the event starts, and you get to learn from Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw, the whole schmo. And it takes less than 45 seconds, or 45 minutes. 45 seconds is super fast. He talks so fast. It's a quick event. It's free, and it's at the Frontenac Hilton, January 30th on a Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Be sure to sign up and reserve your spot. If you're 59 and a half or older, you can now roll over your 401k tax-free to protect your nest egg and still generate more income than most investment options. So if you're 59 and a half or older, you don't want to miss this free event. You can reserve your spot by calling 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. And make sure that you get your spot reserved. Bring a friend, bring a family member, somebody who might be interested in this as well, and you'll have a great time. They have snacks too. That's always great. I would love to meet you, so show up early. I'll be there at 6. The event starts at 6:30. retirementkey.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire, or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-291-1017. 800-291-1017. Again, that's 800-291-1017. Coverage, deductibles, and claims may vary. For details, go to endurancewarranty.com.
So, you got a new gadget over the holidays. Don't forget to listen to your favorite station on Odyssey. Unwrapped a new Amazon Echo or Google Home? Be sure to tell your smart speaker to play your favorite station. Received a new Sonos speaker? Check on Odyssey on the Sonos app for access to hundreds of stations. Got a new phone? Don't forget that the Odyssey app is the only way you can jump to your favorite show with Rewind. No matter what you received this year, listen to your favorites with Odyssey. Download the free Odyssey app today. AUDACY. see why.
I hate winter, but as a kid, I used to love it snowing. And my dog, when it snows, he's just like me being a little Hoosier. When it snows, we wake up and we would just run outside. We didn't care what we had on and just run around and build snowmen, roll around in the snow. He does the exact same thing. He can't build snowmen. He wants to do snow angels. But if you can picture this, he's a big German Shepherd, all right? He's good size. But he's got little legs and little arms. He doesn't know he's a dog, but he wants to make snow angels, so he tries his best. And he just ends up just rolling around in circles for the longest time. You got to love it. With that being said, keep the calls coming. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. That's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. And BartInman.com. That is a B for Bart. How do I say? Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
What are you waiting for? Join Mark Patrick Seminars and lose the weight or stop smoking guaranteed early bird special, only $49.99. Hypnosis designed to destroy unwanted cravings, late day eating binges, boredom eating, stress eating. That's right. Seminars Tuesday, January 30th at the 4 Points by Sheraton St. Louis Fairview Heights in Fairview Heights, and Wednesday, January 31st at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites St. Louis Airport in St. Louis. Weight loss seminar 5:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 p.m. Sign up at markpatrickseminars.com. That's markpatrickseminars.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If your furnace isn't working, get in your comfort zone with 55 years of award-winning HVAC services from Air Comfort Service. Save $20 off any service repair at aircomfortservice.com.
Want to listen to 97.1 outside the listening area? There's an app for that. Download the Odyssey app, and one tap will turn the station on. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk.
Maybe I'm crazy for some of the things I do.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I tend to be a little too bold to rush the
Follow Annie on
eye of
Instagram
you.
at The Annie Frey Show.
I'm not afraid to shoot my shot with the cute boy at the bar. And I have the biggest dreams of being a star. I just don't see the point of holding anything back. Because who would ever want to live a life like that? I'm done feeling sorry for myself. I live life for me and no one else. And if it works, then well, that's great. But if it doesn't, I still won't break. I'll chase that dream that I am after. There's a good chance it ends in disaster, but I'll be okay. I'm better doing it my way.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Maybe I'm crazy. Sometimes I forget to breathe.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's Rachel Schumacher there singing that song. St. Charles girl and making it big in Nashville. Wanted to share her. She's a cousin of mine. She's great. Check it out, her on Spotify, and follow her and support her. So you said you wanted to talk about Goonies and Aliens. Goonies or Aliens? Aliens or Goonies?
Aliens first.
Aliens first. Are you familiar with Representative Anna Paulina Luna?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I may have seen her online here or there.
You've been Instagram stalking her, have
Don't you mean heard her?
No, I don't. I mean that I've seen her online.
If I would have said, "Are you familiar with John Fetterman?" Would he have gone, "Oh yeah"?
No, we've talked
Been
about
seeing
John
him
Fetterman.
all over the place.
if it's somebody we've never talked about, and I'm telling you, then oh yeah, I'm excited to tell you. Has nothing to do with anything else. She's kind of cute though.
She is the UAP caucus co-chair.
Oh yeah,
man, Paulina Luna and Aliens. Do you need a minute? Are you good?
I'm great.
Okay,
let's go.
Okay, easy, easy. UAP, unidentified aerial
phenomena.
Okay, this is just a boy thing. All of it.
It's must see TV. Anna Paulina Luna talking about aliens. Let's go.
This is what she was saying after she was in a skiff hearing.
I think it's incredibly important to listen to the specific words that Grush uses. You know, Grush never said extraterrestrial or alien. He said interdimensional. I think that that's incredibly important because those are the types of things that when we go in there, there's just certain things that I think that it's important that you guys.
Let me just add, there's not like a piano player sitting next to her.
Well, I was getting ready to say, somebody in the background goes, oh, there she is.
For effect.
It's John Fetterman on the piano. This is just part of the clip that we
I'm going to get clarification.
Yes,
You said interdimensional. I mean, now.
Chad Bergram.
What does that term, is this something that bends time and space? What are you getting at?
I think that Grush, when I had talked to him on whether these were specifically extraterrestrials or alien in origin, he said interdimensional. He refused to use certain terms, and I think that's incredibly important because I think that that's really the question we're all wanting to know, right? And so I'm actually going to have a sit-down conversation with him and ask him to come back and talk to us directly because it seems that we are getting more information from the source than going into a skiff and then not being able to tell you guys what we're talking about.
Is this stuff that we just as humans might not be able to understand if it's interdimensional?
I think that we can understand it. I think that it's just, it's an approach, right? I mean, like, remember, we just now for the first time in history really had Congress have whistleblowers come forward credible that we're telling the entire world that there is something other than human life forms. Rush said that those were interdimensional beings. He refused to use extraterrestrial and alien. I think that's important to know.
Interdimensional?
How does this guy know that?
Grush is the name that she's referring to. Grusch, I believe.
Is he
I looked
the head
into
alien?
You're supposed to ask that.
Glacknor and Grush were telling me.
What? Guys, gentlemen.
Yes.
I came across this last night at 1:30 in the morning or something. Wrong time to be like, oh, what the heck does that mean? What does it mean? Not extraterrestrial, interdimensional.
I think that this is Chad Pergram's finest moment, first of all.
I thought, who could I talk to about this who could really make me understand the level of science and information that's going on here? So go on, Ryan.
So Chad Pergram needs to approach every interview with the question, is this something that we as humans are just not capable of understanding?
Congress would be like, now you're getting it.
They're talking about the spending bill.
Yeah. Is this the Inflation Reduction Act? Is this something that we as humans are not quite capable of getting? I think that this is what's interesting is that she's making a very, very important distinction.
Like 4 times.
Between interdimensional and extraterrestrial.
Which means?
No idea.
Ah, crap, Ryan, you were my last hope.
No idea. That's what's funny is that when you ask her the same question, I don't know that Chad Pergram ever got to there, but if you asked her what's the difference, I think she would also tell you, I don't have any idea.
She says she wants to talk about this in a situation that doesn't have to do with her coming right out of a skiff.
I get it.
Which means, at least in that realm, she's saying I can't talk about it.
So,
Brad,
how much do we trust the guy giving the testimony?
Ryan failed me. Tell me what interdimensional means.
Means that you travel between dimensions.
What dimensions?
Well, apparently there's more than one.
Here?
Yeah. So
he said that like duh.
Like multiverses.
We exist in what,
like
3 and 4 dimensional?
Is this the Doctor
the fourth
Strange
dimension's time.
thing where there's like, are there more of me?
Maybe.
What are they doing?
That's the multiverse theory.
Get their act together and help out a little bit.
Is she suggesting, Brad, since you're the authority on this, is she suggesting
in the room
the multiverse, or is she just talking about other dimensions?
I think this is actually string theory.
That's what I thought too.
Stop. What?
What's string theory up to? Like 29 dimensions? They're all tiny dimensions.
I'm just trying to come up with some quantum physics and fancy science words so I sound more photosynthesis whenever I talk.
Yeah, good job.
It's starting to catch on.
So, but
it's weird that the more you talk like that, the more I get it.
The string theory dimensions are so small that these would have to be really itty bitty aliens, wouldn't they?
Well, until they get to our dimension.
Oh, then they're big?
Then they're big.
Then they're like
normal,
Slender Man.
normal size.
What are you talking about?
Slender Man.
What is she talking about?
She's saying that what we're seeing as aliens are actually not aliens from outer space, but aliens from a different dimension. They're beings from a different dimension or different universe or different, multiverse, space-time continuum.
Why do they
Like-
need aircraft?
Is it like Marty McFly?
They're kind of.
Oh boy.
So, like, do you remember when in what was it, the second one, where Doc is explaining, he's like, but you skewed off into this alternate timeline over here because you changed this thing in your universe. It's along those lines.
I'm going to go with Scooter as the authority on this because you guys have not sold me on it. You had me until you said photosynthesis, Brad. Scooter says interdimensional refers to movement. Extraterrestrial refers to the being. So interdimensional means going from A to B through
dimensions, from one dimension to another, like interstate.
I'm worried.
That none of this has solved anything for me.
No.
No, it just breeds a bazillion questions.
Yeah.
Which I think is the goal. I think it's just to sow discord and confusion.
Here's how we solve this. Get on Twitter and find Anna Paulina Luna and just pepper her with questions. Hey, you out of the skiff yet? You done with that skiff? Let me know when you're done with the skiff.
Joe says one of those dimensions showcases a serious host known as Andrew Wiggins and a zany co-host Annie Fry, but Brad is the same across all universes.
I am the Watcher.
What
does that mean?
I don't know. I'm not at ease. I literally lost sleep over thinking about this at night.
Is this all based on one person's testimony?
I've told you everything I don't know, which is all of it.
I'm just going to have to text Anna.
Out there?
Anna.
Outside?
No,
Anna
Anna Paulina Luna.
From Y98?
Anna.
Paulina Luna?
WTF. What are you doing? What up? Hit me back. Okay, we'll see. If she texts me back before the end of the show, I'll let you know.
Over Christmas break, we were trying to break up. We had super, super lazy Christmas break, purposely so. We are a very on-the-go, busy family. Lots of sports that people are involved in, lots of things that we're involved in. It's all good. It's a busy lifestyle. If you know how people imply all the time that they're busy, as if it's like it subsidizes a level of importance.
Yeah.
It's not like that at all. It's just like a lot of 90-minute practices.
Yeah.
And 6th grade basketball games. It's not like I walk around boasting about that part of my lifestyle.
Okay.
But it is of the most importance to be present, to be active with my kids' lives. All of that comes to a screeching halt over Christmas break. So we stay at home. There are days we try to stay in like pajama clothes all throughout the day. And there's a lot of video games. There's a lot of games, movies. And so my husband and I were flipping through some channels and it was promoting the Goonies. I said to my husband, we should watch the Goonies with the kids. He's like, I'm okay with that. And I think my son, who's 14, he had heard of it and they were kind of skeptical. It just looks old, especially compared to now.
Yeah.
I was like, it's about kids who are your age. I mean, like this is prime movie for my son. My daughter would be entertained by it as well. So we start watching it. It's rated PG, mind you. But the first 20 minutes of it do not feel PG to me.
Oh, yeah? I haven't
Was it
watched
the
it with my
statue?
kids yet.
There's a lot of language in it. I mean, I think all words that the FCC would certainly allow me to say here, but I don't need to say it. But it's these kids who are probably middle school age, and they're using, saying the D word, they're saying the H word, they're saying the S word. There's a part where, at the beginning, the main house where the first scene takes place, which is what's Rudy's. I just always call him Rudy.
Sean Astin?
I know he's Sean Astin. I don't know what his name is in the thing.
Oh.
I never need to because his name is just Rudy in everything. He was Rudy in Lord of the Rings. So I'm still cheering for him. He was the only one I could stand. His mom, they got to move out of the house. They're going to pave paradise and put up a country club, which is the predicate of the whole movie. These kids who are kind of the blue collar families are going to lose their family to the big bad rich people who want to put a golf course over their house.
Chester Copperpot.
And I didn't know that was the plot of the Goonies because I haven't watched it in so long. Like that part didn't resonate with me. So all these kids are congregating at this one house, and it's funny to watch how little they have to do, which is why they get in all of this trouble. But like at one point, they're all crowded around a music video that is just Cyndi Lauper's face singing a song, and they are super into it. I'm like, they probably were super into it. I'm trying to think about my son and his friends giving that a half a second of their time. It wouldn't happen. There's a statue in the house, and it's an artistic statue of a naked man.
I think it's David.
Is it David?
I think so.
Yeah. Well, everybody knows the anatomical presentation of David.
Mm-hmm.
They knocked the statue
very
over.
clearly in 2 Kings.
Yes. Okay. They knocked the statue over. The statue's weenie falls off.
Mm-hmm.
And they end up gluing it back on, and he's like, "Oh man, you glued it on upside down." And
I don't remember any of that.
I know. And you're sitting there, and my kids. Well, there's one line in there that's like talking about how the statue is like the most important thing to their mom, and they're like, one of the kids is talking about how that's her favorite part, and my kids looked at me like they considered leaving the home that I have made for them.
No kidding? They were laughing?
No, I mean, they wanted to laugh, but they didn't think they were entitled to. And they're like, "Mother, you led me astray." I'm like, "It is PG. It is the Goonies." When did they say, "Hey, you guys, what is happening in this film?" And then they go upstairs, and I think Rosalita or something is the name of the person who comes to help them with the house or whatever. She only speaks Spanish. And what's the kid who's made all the accusations now that he's older? Corey Feldman. He is in there, and his name in the movie is Mouth. He's a smart butt.
Mm-hmm.
He is the type of kid that you would expect Corey Feldman to be. And he speaks Spanish. And they go upstairs, and the mom says, "Can you please tell Rosalita that we're going to be back home by 6 and blah, blah, blah." And then he starts saying something in Spanish about, like, sexual fantasies. And my kids pivot slowly, like, in unison at the same time. And they look at me with their jaws open, like, "What were you into?" And I'm like, "It is the Goonies."
He tells her, so pants go on the bottom shelf and cocaine in the top.
Yes. And they judged me so hard, and we turned it off.
Man, it's been so long since I've seen. There's such random lines that I remember that, and one of them is, These aren't things we can take. These are people's wishes.
Yes.
These are people's dreams."
And he's like, "But this one was mine.
This one was mine.
And I'm taking this one, and I'm taking that one." And he's collecting like quarters and pennies.
I'm taking them all back.
Yes, it's so dramatic. We turned the movie off because my husband and I were looking at each other like we feel pretty stable in this parenting thing. We had no idea what to do.
We're
love
that.
Do we abort the mission? Do we plow through? What do we do? We panicked. We turned it off. We left. We played Fortnite and shot people.
Oh man, I don't know what to do now because that we're supposed to do the same thing with my kids really soon.
The kids 2 days later are like, "We should watch the rest of the Goonies."
Oh yeah?
And I said to my husband, I'm like, Should we try again? He's like, "Yeah, maybe." I go, "We're going to try again." They get 2 more strikes, and then it's out. So we picked it. We didn't revisit the first 20 minutes. So we picked it up basically from when they go into the attic and they start finding all of the things that lead them on their adventure. And for the most part, I mean, they like crammed a lot, I think, to get the attention of middle-aged boys. Middle-aged.
Yeah,
yes,
middle-aged boys.
Middle-aged boys. I mean, it's not wrong.
That's great.
Middle school boys.
I didn't
and they
know,
loved it. They ended up loving the movie.
I didn't know I don't remember all that. All I remember is that there are scary parts, and my kids, they can most of that stuff would probably go over their head. But the scary stuff, they cannot do. They just hate turmoil and fear and horror or anything.
It's a good way to introduce them to the emotion, though.
We try.
That and filth.
Absolute disgusting filth that is Goonies.
I don't regret showing it to them, but I did get the opportunity in the most upfront possible way to be like, "Kids, the 80s were different." And it's weird because the PG nature of it, they weren't trying to push anything on the kids. They were just showing what kids do or did. So it wasn't like it wasn't a persuasion. It just was.
I think it was just pushing the boundaries of what you did. So in that sense, it was.
I don't know. I would have been okay with my oldest 2 like completing it the first time, but my 7-year-old was in there. And she was like kind of, you know how they can pick up on stuff and not pick on others?
Yeah.
She was picking up on too much.
Yeah.
So, anywho, I don't know. Go revisit The Goonies. It was a great movie. I'm still glad we watched it, but it took us a couple sittings in order to get through it. Stick around. We'll get the results of today's YouTube live chat poll. Vivek for VP, yes or no? You let us know what you think on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
I'll be okay. I'm better doing it my way.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
Don't feel sorry for myself. I'll live life for me and no one else. And if it works, then well, that's great. But if it doesn't, I still won't break. I'll chase a dream that I am after. There's a good chance it ends.
Stewart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Reach out to Stewie and talk to him about how he can help you secure the best deal when it comes to getting that mortgage. He also does refinances as well. Don't sleep on the idea that there is something else out there other than maybe the one person who is recommended to you. They probably do a great job, but they can't do for you the bagel loan like Stewie can. That's the only place you can get it. And he has been able to help so many people, even when the rates were astronomically high. He's been working through all of this turmoil to make sure that when you need a mortgage, you get the best deal, you can get it fast, and you can trust the process. I myself am a customer of the bagel loan and of Stewart's American Mortgage. If you reach out to him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. He's going to walk you through exactly how the bagel loan can work for you. It worked for me twice to lower my rate, and I've got a great rate right now. I'm very proud of that. You can do the same thing as well. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan to find out more information. NMLS number 226715.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. For a limited time, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, get an additional 20% off in-store clearance appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today because Lowe's knows deals. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 12/28/23 through 1/3/24. Selection varies by location while supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
How would you like to make no mortgage payments for 2 months? Are you tired of making minimum payments on high-interest credit cards? Is student loan repayment giving you the blues? Your home equity is at an all-time high. Use that equity to save hundreds every month. Call 314-567-GOLD now and give yourself a payment break. That's 314-567-GOLD. Or visit goldenoaklending.com. NMLS 114937.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is about Vivek Ramaswamy. Should he be the next vice president? Yes or no? It's the Annie Frey YouTube live chat poll. Let us know. We'll give you the results here in a minute. 2:53. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. It seems like every day I have another example of media malpractice to highlight, and there is another Hall of Famer. We'll get to it here after Fox News. Also, Brian Kilmeade at 325.
Now that she's back in the atmosphere with drops of Jupiter in her head.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
And walks like rain, reminds me that there's a time to change.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. The YouTube live chat poll, as Ryan just mentioned, Vivek for VP, yes or no? Ryan, what do you say?
I was a no. Even though I like him, I'm still a no for VP in particular.
I'm with Ryan on this one. I'm a no, even though I do kind of like him, so no.
I'm a no because I don't like him.
Very different reasons, all no's.
And no good reasons for me, really.
He just kind of annoys you.
Yeah.
I love it. I really, when he has a clip come up, I'm like, all right, let's dig in.
Do you know what I like? I love Vivek one-on-one with people.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Like on the fly. You don't know, someone's trying to catch him in something, and he's uncatchable. What I don't like is the polished on stage. I do not like debate Vivek Ramaswamy.
That's fair. That's fair.
Not a fan of that. On a retail basis, I don't know that there's anyone better at it. No disrespect to him. And if he were the nominee, I'd be very happy to vote for him over the Democrats every time that Illinois would allow me to, which is probably zero.
When he does hostile territory interviews, not just man on the street stuff, but I mean going into the Lions Den. Don Lemon. He did one with, I think it was MSNBC or somebody in the mainstream, or regular NBC maybe, that just happened a week or two ago. It was so good. They were trying to throw the kitchen sink at that guy, and he was dodging every bullet and throwing them right back.
Well, the results of today's poll, 228 votes in. Vivek for VP, 60% no. 40% say yes. That's not bad.
That's higher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. 40% of over
Iowa.
200 people say they would have him be the VP. That's kind of flattering for him. All right.
It's come a long way.
Stick around. Mark Reardon is up next. I am taking a vacation with my family for the next couple of days, and it was a Christmas gift to my kids. So we're going to take a quick break and be back on Tuesday of next week. But stick around here because the Mark Reardon Show is going to be up next. I'll be back in time to talk some New Hampshire. Don't go away.
Rock and roll, turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free.